And we are live. Night before Thanksgiving 2020, boys. Petro, how are you?
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
All
I'm
right.
good.
Happy opening college basketball today.
Yes.
So excited for that. Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
Doing well. Happy birthday to both of you guys. I know, Kurt, you were on Sunday, and Petra, you were Tuesday, correct? Yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was yesterday. Yep.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Petro.
both of
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Kenny.
Hope you guys had
Thank you. Thank you.
good days.
Yep.
And happy Thanksgiving Eve, everyone. I
Yes.
know.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I got to tell you, birthday was the first day I don't think, honestly, I moved out of the house. First time ever, I think, in my life. It's crazy.
I know.
So
It is. It's a weird year.
it was weird. It was just like,
It's a
okay, it's your
weird year.
birthday. What's it? Watched a little football and went to school on Monday. So that's that. But what we got tonight, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Change it up a little bit. We'll do some football headlines. What do you think? Start off with some football
Yeah,
headlines.
whatever you want, wherever you want to go.
And, if you missed last week, we did an NBA draft preview. Well, this week we got our little college basketball preview a little later for you guys, ladies and gentlemen out there.
Okay.
We'll do some predictions, a Final Four. Yeah, we'll have a little fun tonight, night before Thanksgiving. Later on, we'll predict Kurt's dinner, Thanksgiving Day dinner.
It's not that hard, guys. Not that hard.
And so, yeah, you want to start with the headlines, Kurt?
Sure. Go ahead.
Just
Start off.
probably have some people popping in and out. It's just the three of us. First headline I got was Joe Burrow tore his ACL last week, guys, in the loss to Petro's Washington football team. He's out for the year. Two questions I have. I'll start this one with Petro. If the season ended today, did he do enough to win the Rookie of the Year? And is it Justin Herbert's, now that Burrow's out, is it Justin Herbert by a landslide, or is there a dark horse rising out of nowhere in the hunt for Rookie of the Year?
I personally think it was Justin Herbert's anyway. He's been so good, like consistently. I know Burrow has been good also, but it really hasn't been translating like to wins. I think Justin Herbert has like put together some really good games, and the Chargers have just. I think the Chargers have the most. I think all of their losses are like a combined like 20 points or less, like combined. It's like something insane. They lose almost every single game on like the last possession. It seems like it's definitely Herbert's now to lose for sure. Rookie of the Year that can take it from him though. I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I would say one of these wideouts, but like with Dak getting hurt, I think that hurt Lamb. Yeah, it's Herbert's, and I think he's just going to run away with it now.
Okay. Kurt, you want to add?
Yeah,
Sure.
I totally agree. I think, Tua, maybe if they went off and they took the AFC lead, but, they sat him last game, late in that game. I would agree with one of the receivers, but Ruggs, Judy, or CeeDee Lamb, I mean, none of them have really been a standout. Jefferson might even be the best one statistically this year, but they're not going anywhere. So I agree with Petro. I think it's going to be Herbert. Burrow, it's weird because the two guys that we're saying, they're not winning, so I don't know. I don't think there's anybody defensively. I know we said Isaiah Simmons early in the year, but he really hasn't been a big standout with Arizona. So I would agree with Petro. I would go Herbert too. What about you?
He went from
You guys.
he went from 17-1 beginning of the year to -900 now.
Yeah.
Feel great if you got him at 17-1.
Oh yeah.
Only
Cash in. Cash in.
If I had a few dollars, I would throw it on a couple dark horses in case you're still early in the season enough where Herbert can get hurt, and then you get a dark horse with those odds now.
Yeah, Claypool is the one guy maybe. And Antonio Gibson too. He's having a really good year in Washington, man.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot about Claypool. That wouldn't be because again they're undefeated. If he does something big, that's it's a stretch, but.
And that's why I said Tua, but now that he got benched, that's out of the question now for me. But so yeah, I agree with both of you guys as well. My second headline is I'll start this one with Kurt. Backup quarterbacks prevail. PJ Walker looked good in his debut, and of course Taysom Hill did enough and looked well against the Falcons. Question is, do they continue their good play? Was it a one-game wonder? And was there any quarterback controversy when the quarterbacks come back if they continue to play well?
I don't know. I think, listen, the whole Saints thing, I don't know. I mean, Taysom Hill, we're going to get into that later. I just think you're not going to win like a Super Bowl with a guy like that, like a gadget guy. But Sean Payton is good. I mean, he's going to put him in spots, like get formations that's going to, do what he does best. The other guy, though, like PJ Walker, I don't know, man. I mean, listen, he didn't do bad. I mean, he's a good athlete. I mean, he's not as good as Bridgewater. I think, though, if Bridgewater's healthy, he's going to play. I mean, they're not mathematically eliminated yet. So I would say that when both guys come back, they will both play.
Okay. How about you, Petra? You agree or?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's Drew Brees' team. I think it's Drew Brees' team until he decides to leave. It's great, admirably filled in. They did what a backup quarterback is supposed to do. They're supposed to be ready and they're supposed to fill in. Not for nothing. It's not like this guy in the PJ Walker came in and played against the Seahawks or a team like that. He played against the Lions. He's should win that game. He doesn't have McCaffrey, so it shows that
Right.
hey, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, it was one game. Let's see if they come out and who did the Saints play this week? I think the Saints have an easy one.
They got my Broncos.
Yeah, they got an
Yeah,
easy
I
one.
mean that's not. I mean, the Saints. I mean, we'll see. I think the Panthers have
Panthers
they
got
have their bye week.
the Vikings.
Panthers got the Vikings. So that's not if he comes out in there and he handles the Vikings who have been playing pretty good football.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I just think it's Teddy Bridgewater maybe, but I still don't think so because they signed Bridgewater for a reason. Drew Brees, if Drew Brees is healthy, he's the quarterback.
Exactly. I agree.
I agree with both of you guys. What's interesting about the PJ Walker is Rule coached him in Temple, and he brought him over. He sees something in this kid, so that could be a sneaky one going forward. But with Drew Brees, it's his team definitely.
Yeah, you know what? Walker's going to be – I think he's a good backup, though. Like, I wouldn't mind having a backup like him.
He ain't going back to the XFL.
I think he'll stick.
Yeah.
Now, Kenny, Mark saying good evening. He's saying his son's football team won the championship. I want to congratulate Mark.
Hey, keep bragging, Mark.
Keep bragging. Yep.
Great accomplishment for your son. Congratulations,
awesome.
Mark Jr. and the Junior Fair Lawn Cutters.
Hey, Petro, real quick, did you ever coach junior football?
No football. I wasn't a football. I was always basketball.
I got to tell you, like, and Mark can attest, and Kenny and I coached it. It's crazy, man. I mean, it's like you would think like it's junior football. I mean, you go to these playoff games and like there's Super Bowls, and it's just the whole town is there. They're nuts.
Oh yeah,
I've been to
them. I mean,
it's crazy.
The kids that I coach in basketball, they all played on junior football, so I would go to those games.
Yeah,
and stuff. They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
It's like that's a big thing, man. It's like
and those are the ones. Those are the ones that you'll always remember.
Oh,
too.
absolutely. And you know what?
Because that's when you get the kids that don't go to high school with you. So like,
right, they play together.
Those are your like real like core friends that you grew up with. Because eventually some go here, some go there. So those are the ones that you. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny, and we say it, and like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's as big as high school, but I tell you, in some towns, man, like we did Elmwood Park. I mean, that place was, a Heights Elmwood Park game. I mean, and those games, the Bombers versus the Little Heights, those were crazy, Kenny.
They were. They were. And then, I have a question for you in hoops to ask Elmwood Park head football coach if he knows this answer. Me and you coach junior Elmwood Park. Why is the junior Elmwood Park team called the Bombers, but the high school are the Crusaders?
Okay.
Well, when we grew, it was the same thing with us. When we grew up, we were the NA leaders, and then it was the high school was the Vikings. Now they're the junior Vikings. But when we were the leaders.
Wow.
I don't know if it changed, Kurt.
And we were black and gold. And North Arlington's always in blue and white. So we were the leaders, black and gold, and the Vikings were royal blue and white. So it
Wow.
was like
I didn't know that.
complete opposites. Yeah.
Wow.
No, but congratulations, Mark.
Yeah,
Fairlawn.
congratulations, Mark Jr. We'll have to get him on and officially congratulate him. Maybe next week if he wants to come on for a few minutes.
But you know what? Petro's right on this. Like, when you really think about it, what's the percentage? I mean, of like, say a whole NA team wins, the whole NA team goes to NA. Like, you're gonna get some that are gonna leave. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
you're never gonna get that group.
My class, the only one who didn't come to North Arlington was Mike Lemego, and that was a big one,
Right?
Because Lemego
He went to QP.
He was one of the best football players QP's ever had.
Yeah.
He won a state title. He was all state. He was unbelievable. The kid was an absolutely unbelievable athlete. So, I mean, that one, if we had him, we probably can beat St. Mary's.
It's a different game, yeah.
And Jeff Jones and those guys, you know. So, yeah, it's super rare now. But I mean, now there's no more QP. QP high school's gone.
Right.
So, you know, you get those kids that now you'll see they're going to start all staying together and stuff. But yeah, it's super rare. You get all these kids, and it's a lot of it too is the parents. They all think
Mark Jr. are going to join us next week for a few minutes.
Yep.
We're going to congratulate him on his season. We'll ask him how the season went. And we'll maybe do a little guest pick segment with them in either college or NFL, whatever they'd rather do.
Sounds good.
I know Mark Sr.'s guest is going to be NFL because his Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, my God.
God, they're bad.
But we'll bring him in next week. Again,
3 overtimes to beat
Mark Jr. And our next guy, Johnny Beelan, is joining us.
There he is.
Yo.
There's the Beckton Wildcat.
Sorry, my computer was like wonky before.
How's it going, John? Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, John.
Thanksgiving.
Mark, we'll let you know what time. Usually in the 9 o'clock hour we do.
Absolutely.
John, we just had a couple headlines. We just finished the you want to add to this, John? I'll let you add to it. The backup quarterbacks that prevailed last week were PJ Walker and Taysom Hill. They looked really good in their wins. Did they do enough? Do they continue their good play, or was it a one-game fluke? And
I think
is there any
think that like
controversy if either of them continue to play well?
I'd probably say PJ Walker, but I mean everyone knows that Taysom Hill is going to be Taysom Hill. You're getting a quarterback that we haven't seen in probably 6-7 years, maybe. You know, that was up there. I mean, I think it's probably Taysom Hill than it is Walker, but they both look good. Well, I was expecting Taysom to throw a little bit more, but they were just running all over the place.
I was kind of surprised that Jameis didn't start that game, to be completely honest with you.
I'm even surprised he didn't even come in.
Well, that's the thing. That was the whole thing was he was going to be the starter. Then they said,
strange.
okay, Hill's starting. And then they came back and said there was a report on Twitter that he's not going to be in any packages.
Yeah, they didn't run any packages for Jameis Winston. It's like, I don't know. It just seems weird. It worked. They won. We'll see how it goes, going forward. But Taysom Hill, I think you'll see he'll have a little more growing pains when he plays against a little bit of tougher teams. So we'll see.
Okay. Next headline I got. I'll start this one with the guy who just came in. Tua was benched for Fitzpatrick in the loss to the Broncos. Do you agree with Brian Flores in benching Tua? And do you think there is now a quarterback controversy in Miami? And number two, does Tua bounce back from being benched?
I would say yes, he's going to bounce back. It was the right choice. He was not doing nothing all game, and Fitzpatrick was going to be the person who was going to drive you down to the field. I mean, Fitzpatrick was basically Fitzpatrick. You either were going to get a touchdown or you were going to get a pick, and you got the pick instead of the touchdown.
You're okay with the benching?
I'm okay with it, yeah. I think at that time and that place, he was the best choice. I mean, Tua had like 80 yards the whole game, and 2 drives. Fitzpatrick had more than 80 yards. So, what are you going to give Tua the ball and in the fourth quarter right now, like he's gonna have plenty more fourth quarters and come back and driving down the field and stuff. So it's all right.
I'll go to Kurt last because I know he watched the whole game. So I'll ask Petro next.
I just don't think you do that to a rookie when it's his fourth game. And, listen, rookies are going to have growing pains. Everyone's been so, quick to just jump down a rookie's throat when they're having, a tough go of it. I mean, I get it. Granted, he only threw the ball 20 times. I mean, I guess it's not like that. It's a decent amount of times. But, he didn't have any turnovers. He didn't turn the ball over. So it's not like it was his fault that they were losing the game. I don't know. I don't think it's good for a rookie psyche when not if you were just going to do this now, why even bring him in when you had a winning record with Fitzpatrick? If you're basically saying that you don't think he's ready because he's not allowed to have a tough game. The guys have tough games. Mahomes has tough games. Lamar Jackson has been having tough games. They haven't taken Lamar Jackson out. I mean, I know he was the MVP, but that's a bad example, but it's not. It's just, it's Herbert, he hasn't looked great every single game. Burrow hasn't looked great every single game. I don't know. I don't agree with the benching. You got to just let him go out there and figure it out. If he's going to be your quarterback in the future, let him go out there and play. Let him go out there and it's his game to win or lose, right? If you wanted Fitzpatrick, should have never pulled him to begin with. So that's my take on it.
About it, Kurt. You watched the whole game. What did you see? Did you agree with?
You know what? I couldn't agree with Petro more. And it's a tough situation for Miami. Realistically, Fitzpatrick gives them a better chance to get to the playoffs, to do anything, to possibly win a division. He does. He's a little more seasoned. Tua is going to learn. But just like Petro said, when you make that move, now you're basically saying this is it. It's your team. We've gone away from Fitzpatrick. This is you now. I mean, what are they going to do? What if they're in a situation, okay, they're playing the Jets, but just say they're down by 3 to Jets. I mean, are you going to keep swapping them? When you make that move, besides an injury, that's your guy. It's sink or swim. It's your team now. So that I totally agree with what Petro said. It's, again, what do you want to do? Do you really want to go for it? Because if you want to go for it, Fitzpatrick's going to give you a better chance to win. But whose team is it? It's going to be Tua's team. It should be Tua's team next year. And if you want to make that commitment and do it now, once you do it, you should not go back. It's going to cause problems because, listen, Denver did it with Cutler and Plummer, I want to say in 2006. It's the same thing. And then you hear the people saying, we should have never switched. We were 7-3. Why did we switch? I think the locker room, not that they don't believe in Tua, but I think the locker room realizes, listen, Fitzpatrick gives us a better chance. But, hey, you make the move, and now you're going to be swapping them back and forth. I don't think they should have done the swap. Or, you know what, go back to Fitzpatrick, and, all right, it's the wrong move, though. It's Tua's team. You're drafting him high. Let Tua be the quarterback.
Yeah, I was only watching highlights of the game, and I know John, we were all texting a little bit, and John said Fitzmagic, and I thought Tua got hurt. That was the first thing I thought. I didn't think he got benched. The guy was undefeated. Because I agree with you and Petro. You could say he didn't do enough, but a quarterback does enough to go 3-0. That's enough. I don't care if it's 7. I don't care if you put up 7 points each game. You're still winning. They're doing enough to win. But now that Fitzpatrick came in, you can't flip-flop back and forth. I think it's got to be one or the other, like you've been saying, both of you guys. Give it to Fitzpatrick or Tua the rest of the year. And the other guy's got to be the backup.
Yep.
And yeah. My only thing is he got sacked 6 times. If you look at the drives, it's a couple of the drives it was run for no gain, 3rd and 10, and it was the 3 and out. You know what I mean? So it's not like they were helping him at all. It's you can't all just blame it on him. And listen, if he had 3 interceptions and just completely looked absolutely lost, you might have a reason to say, okay, we're going to teach him a lesson here. He can't go out here and play like this. We're going to sit him, make him sit here and watch the rest of the game. Then he goes out next game and it's his job again, just to teach him a lesson. But it's not like he was just struggling. He just couldn't. Guys weren't getting it. It's not just all on the quarterback. it's a whole team. Like, I mean, it's not like the Dolphins lit it up completely. You know what I mean?
You know
And
what's
yeah,
what's crazy too, Petro, with that too, is like you see that a lot. Like when say you're down 21 points and it's like, okay, game's over, no controversy. Hey, sit down. It's not your day. But when that game's on the line and you're down 10, and it's like, you know, like, are you trying to win or are you developing this kid? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's tough. It's really tough.
they had 200. The team themselves, they had 220 yards of total offense. It's not like, okay, Tua had 83 of them, so he pretty much had a third of the yardage of the team. So like, I mean, it's not like, you know, Fitzpatrick, he came in and okay, he threw for 40 more yards than Tua. Like,
all right, Kenny, I want to piggyback off of that, Kenny. Jimmy Eiserman saying what's up.
Go ahead, and then I want to give John the final word because he disagreed with the three of us.
Okay.
So we'll give John the final word on this topic. But go ahead.
By the way, Jimmy's saying hello, and he's also saying happy early Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, Jimmy.
Go Giants.
All right, so we'll end with Beelan. We'll start. I'll go Kenny, Petro, Beelan. So let me ask you this: second part, going forward, is Tua your starter? And is there, under any circumstance, do you do what Flores did on Sunday? Bench him again, especially. Do you just go to Fitzpatrick anyway besides injury going forward, Kenny?
No. Tua's got to be Tua, in my opinion, now. You put him in. Unless there's an injury, he should be the quarterback. You're going to mess with this kid's head. He's the franchise. You wanted a tank for him. You overachieved last year. You still got him because he got hurt. You got lucky in getting him in the draft. Now you're overachieving this year again. Okay, they're ahead of schedule, the Dolphins. Get Tua ready. Maybe you can make it to the wild card. Great experience for the kid. He's got to be the quarterback, hands down. Fitzpatrick, the backup.
Petro.
Yeah, I mean, it's his job. I mean, listen, there was no reason to make the switch in the first place. So if you're like trying to say that you have a better chance to win with Fitzpatrick,
why didn't he play?
Why did you make the switch? If anything, I'm sorry. I actually like the coach from Miami, but like, not for nothing. Ownership will step in at some point if they see him do this again.
Right.
And it's just a game where Tua is just having a tough time and guys are not getting open and the lanes aren't there for them to run. And I just don't see it. Just there's no way for it to make sense to me. Like, no one forced your hand. It's not like you were 0-8 and you needed to get this guy in. Like, if anything, it's on the coach. You either rushed him in and it was too early, or now you're trying to get cute and teach the kid a lesson when realistically he just had a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, and it's the Ravens, I kind of feel bad for Lamar because, man, like, he really doesn't have like that much help. Like, Antonio Brown like should have been first priority for them because that's a guy that would have helped him so dearly. And like Miami, like, do they even have, like, can you name me, like, one legitimate weapon on that team that's, like, okay, you could rely on him? I mean, Devontae Parker, he's, like, decent. No. But, like, like, he's working with what he's got. So there's going to be games where he struggles. Like you guys said, they're overachieving. Mm-hmm. It's not like we expected the Miami Dolphins to go out here and be 13-3.
Right.
So.
Yeah, John, you got the final. What's you want to add?
I mean, I get it. I'm with you guys. I'm not disagreeing at you, but I just think, like, I feel like his logic was kind of like, as a fan, because, like, imagine this, like, Darnold's doing terrible 3 quarters, and you're like, all right, it's a 4th quarter. He's driving down the field on his last drive. As a fan, as myself, besides them being whatever they are, and it's no different than, Alex Smith driving down or Drew Lock driving down or Danny Dimes driving down. It's like, if you know that they're terrible all game, as a fan, you have no confidence in it. So I think he just was like, you know what? I don't have confidence in him in this 4th quarter because he threw for 81 yards in 3 quarters and did absolutely 0. So he threw in Fitzpatrick. Get a little change. It's no different than, your running back, right? You take your running back out. The thing is with the quarterback situation is that it's a quarterback. So it's no different if it was, like, why is it okay if they took out a running back and they put whoever else in?
Well, you know what it's like, though, John? I make it equivalent to is like a closer in baseball. Like, when you take a closer in baseball, you're just like, that's your guy, man. You're gone. But now when you pull him, you're like, oh, my God.
But what happens if, like, Chapman he blew the last 4 games? You really want Chapman to come in to the 5th game after he just blew 4 straight games? Nah, you might need a chance. You might want Britton to come back in. You might want somebody else to come in just for 1 game, maybe just to reset his mind a little bit and, like, whatever.
No, I hear you, but quarterback is just so tough, man.
I completely agree with you, but all those guys you named aren't only 4 games in, 3 games in. So, like, it's not like all those guys have been through it. Even Danny Dimes, like, listen to me, Danny Dimes has had some dreadful games. He has single-handedly lost the Giants multiple games. They stuck with him. So, like, it's not like Tua was out there throwing the ball to the other team in the other colors. So, like,
right. Like, I think it's different, Petro. Like, I remember them saying the other day, they were talking about last week when, Drew Lock was just terrible against Oakland 2 weeks ago, Vegas. And they were saying, hey, in 83, listen, Elway got pulled twice. But the thing is, he got pulled, like, down 35-7, where it's like, right. Here it's different where it's like, we're pulling, you're going to try to win the game, like, listen, this is what you're in there for, to win that game. If it's just your bad day and, listen, you're getting smoked, like, all right, hey, sometimes you got to do it. Like you're saying too, Beelan, like, they're not going to take, Chapman out. Like, Chapman might, if it's like, boom, 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 he gave up 4 runs, all right, pull him. Listen, it's not his day, but if the Yankees are up 2 and now, they're only up 1 and they're second and third, they're not going to pull him to go someone else. They're not going to do that.
No,
they're not.
No.
And they can't.
He gets paid.
They can't.
He gets paid the big time closer money because that's his job.
Right.
And
now, again, but Petro, you agree, like, he did this year, didn't he? Wasn't in the playoff game. He got shellacked where he just didn't have it. He gave up 4 or 5 runs. Then you pull him out.
Yeah.
But, but not
right.
when the game's on the line.
No, you're not going to assume that a guy who throws 102 miles an hour and has a 92 mile an hour slider is going to not, you know what I mean? You go with your best option. But, like, right. The only reason why I would say I don't agree with this is just because, listen, it's his 3rd game. It was his 4th game of the season. And he was 3-0.
Heisman's take on it, guys, is he thinks Tua should have been eased into it. He was thrown in, and they decided to pull him and save him from injury. I didn't see the game. I don't like.
Well, there was a little speculation that he got hurt. His foot got hurt.
He was getting hammered. He had no time to throw the ball. Kurt, you watched the game. He was a sitting duck back there, and it showed. He got sacked 6 times. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And like, listen to me. It's the game slows down. You've heard guys say it. Even like Lamar and Mahomes. Mahomes said it after his MVP season. Like, the game has started to it's getting slower and slower for him, and you just see it. You need reps, you need body of work. You know what I mean? You can't just go out there and expect these rookies to all just be the next Patrick Mahomes. It's just not. It's not a reality.
It's the scary. You know what the scary thing is, though, guys, is like just like it was with Kenny when you had Eli and Kurt Warner. Like, that's the hard thing where you get that quarterback and you're like, and I know that's why I said all year. That's why Denver has to see if Drew Lock's the guy. How many times during the year, if he's not playing well, go put Cam Newton in, put this guy in, put Josh McCown in. Like, then you're really not going to find out if he's the guy. Like, just let him sink or swim. That's it.
I kind of feel bad for Drew Lock because, not for nothing, Drew Lock, he lost his best defensive player. So that changes everything, which means your team isn't going to be getting the short fields that you would sometimes normally get. You're not going to get the stops that you need. So your offense doesn't get the goal. Your offense is constantly on the field more because your defense is just giving up big chunks of yards. Mm-hmm. You lost Cortland Sutton, who's, I'm sorry, now you need Jerry Jeudy
to be a 1.
Be a 1. And listen, he's shown that he can be a 1.
Right, but in the NFL, that's hard to do as a rookie.
Right. So, like, at the end of the day, if Drew Lock continues on what he's doing, yeah, he's had a couple dud games, but he's also shown that he can do it.
Yep.
So, like, I don't think that you would be mad if with a full squad next year you roll Drew Lock out there.
Oh no.
And,
But
you know what I
I'm
mean?
saying,
So, like,
but I'm
it's
saying though,
everyone
as
just, it's the patience. Everyone just needs to be a little more
right,
patient with these rookies.
Beelan said with the fan thing is, see, the thing is, it's either Drew Lock now or Rippon. You know, where Rippon is, listen, he could be a backup in the league, but he has zero shot to be the guy as a starting quarterback. But if you have, you know, a Cam Newton, like they were saying, oh, get a vet, it's just going to cause so many problems because do you want to win? Cam Newton might give you a better chance to win than a younger guy. And that's where it's a problem. And that's where with Fitzpatrick, like Kenny called it a couple weeks ago, they should have traded him. Trade him. Like, it's just right now, because in Miami, who gives you a better chance this week? You know, what if the Jets what if it's 10-7 Miami at half over the Jets? Are you going to be calling for Fitzpatrick again?
Yeah, they will.
That's not good for
the Jets are winless.
This is why you don't trade him, because let's say hypothetically, you know, Tua goes down, who's your backup? And at least you have a legit backup that can still push you into the playoffs possibility. Or
you want someone like Fitzpatrick too, that Tua can lean on in the locker room and in the video, watching the film and watching the tape.
No, you're right.
Someone
It's not Fitzpatrick's. It's not Fitzpatrick's fault that they put him in.
No, absolutely not.
You know?
And I mean, listen to me. I know Fitzpatrick seemed shocked that he got benched, but I feel like there's no way that like he didn't see the writing on the wall that it was coming. I understand that they were winning, but like we all knew that this was going to be Tua's team at some point.
Right.
So like, and trust me, I'll guarantee you, if someone were to ask Fitzpatrick, did you think you were going to go in the fourth quarter? He would probably say no.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And what do you want him to do? He's got to go in.
Right. And it's not like I said, if Tua was just absolutely dreadful and just turning it over all over the place, okay, cool. Then you know what? You actually have a valid reason to do it. But like, I just don't, I don't know. For a guy in his fourth game that you're trying to hand the keys to the car to.
All right, so let's move on. Ready to move on to the next topic? This one's going to be heated. I know it's going to be a heated topic. I've been waiting for this one all week. I'm going to start this one with Kurt, and then we're going to do this one at a time, guys, because this is going to be good. I'm pretty sure Petro and Beelan are going to be on the same page with this, so I'm going to let you guys.
Oh man, this is going to be about Lamar Jackson. I know.
Ravens and the Bucs are struggling. Ravens and the Buccaneers are struggling. Here's a couple questions I got. Is Lamar Jackson and Brady to blame? Let me give you some of Lamar Jackson's stats from the last 4 games. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns, 5 INTs, a 45 quarterback rating, averaging 50 yards rushing a game, as opposed to 85 before that. On the Buccaneers, 2 out of 3 weeks on prime time look terrible. Is Brady's age showing? And is the chemistry off since signing Antonio Brown? Or is there another reason for the struggles? Kurt, I'll let you go with Lamar Jackson first.
All right, Lamar Jackson.
And then I'll let you guys go right after him.
Is he to blame? No, he's not to blame because we said it all again, and I was talking to Neely today, and he mentioned it the right way. He's a one-trick pony. I mean, he is what he is. You know, he is a running quarterback first who has trouble reading the defense, throwing the ball, and he's a running quarterback. I mean, listen, we could talk about this for hours, for days. Just those gimmick quarterbacks do not win championships in the NFL. It's never happened. It never will. You're going to get the flashy. You're going to get the stats. You're going to get the MVP. But when the game's on the line and you got to throw from the pocket, he cannot do it. I watched Sunday night. I watched Patrick Mahomes right from the pocket. Boop, 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 boop. No problems. They had no answers. Nothing. Teams are taking away the running game from Lamar Jackson, meaning his running game, They're taking him away from running, making him a passer, and he cannot do it. I wish you guys were listening to Tiki and Tierney yesterday. It was phenomenal. They were talking about how paying quarterbacks, and I believe it was Tiki was saying, Patrick Mahomes is just a different animal. You pay him 9 days a week, whatever he wants. He's just a different freak. But he said, I'm not paying Josh Allen, and I'm not paying Lamar Jackson. No way. Not now. I need to see another 2-3 years. But right now, if those deals were up, I'm not paying them. They're not franchise quarterback money. So it's not that it's his fault. He is who he is. I give Baltimore credit because Baltimore kind of does what he does, and what he does well, which is the gimmick offense. But it's not going to win in the NFL big time, come playoff time, or against good teams. So that's my answer.
You guys want to go as a team, or you going to go one at a time? I'll let you guys decide.
I'll go first. I'm just going to be quick. It is absolutely not Lamar Jackson's fault. That would just be silly to think that. My problem is with Lamar. One, I think Harbaugh kind of limits him. I know he's had 5 interceptions in the last thing. Zach, my buddy Zach, who's been on the show before, he's a very, very big Ravens fan. He watches every single game. And he says they don't take any shots down the field. I don't think that he can't throw the ball because he threw for 34 touchdowns last year. So, I don't think that he can't not throw. I just think Harbaugh is afraid of him making typical mistakes and turning it over a few times, because then they'll say, oh, he can't throw the ball. He's turning it over so much, this and that. They need to just let him loose. You got Marquise Brown. Throw some straight up fades down the sideline and let Marquise Brown try and go and get it. I think not getting Antonio Brown killed them because they don't really have that possession wideout. Mark Andrews, great tight end, but he's not a Travis Kelce. He's not going to be the kind of guy who can single-handedly go and win you a game like Kelce can. Willie Snead. Willie Snead probably wouldn't even be starting on a lot of teams in the NFL right now. But the Ravens, they just don't have the weapons around Lamar. They got Mark Ingram, who's been not himself this year. I feel like he's been banged up. J.K. Dobbins, he's a rookie. He's kind of still just learning it as they go. So, it definitely isn't all on Lamar. He's struggling. He's having a tough go of it, Again, it's not like they're benching him. So, they obviously see something. And, he has those flashes that he makes some plays that are just unbelievable, but they need to just run a little bit more play action, I think, and try to just let him loose, man. Let him throw let him have a game where he throws 3 or 4 picks in the game. Who cares? If you got to just let it fly, man. And that's the thing that I think they're not letting Lamar do, is they're just not letting him throw the ball that much. So,
got it, John.
Yeah, Petro said it how what he said. But you got to remember too. Look at the last 4 games that he played against. It was the Steelers, the Colts, the Titans, all 3 top 5 defenses in the league at the same time. Don't get me wrong. Kurt will probably come out and say, well, he's Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson, he should do what he does. But, listen, he's not – Lamar's Lamar, man. If you put – like Petra said, he doesn't have weapons.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't. If you, and I'm not saying this because it is because Coach's not here either. But if you took Pat Mahomes and you put him on the Jaguars, he's not Pat Mahomes.
I disagree.
No way.
Because I'm going to tell.
I don't think he's
going to be running all over the field.
Right, but I'll tell you this, John. Hartman. Who are the 2 receivers? Who's the receivers? Hartman. Who's the other fast guy?
What, Mecole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson.
Right. Those two guys probably don't start on any of our teams. Maybe the Jets. They're not good receivers. He makes them good receivers.
Okay. But he has Hill, who's a top 5 receiver in the league. He has Kelce, who's a top 5 tight end in the league. Lamar Jackson has who? Mark Andrews. Again.
Yeah, I
But
guess,
I'll
yeah.
just-
Like I said, like if you, it's no different than I say this anything else. If you took Tom Brady and put Tom Brady on the Jaguars, Tom Brady is not Tom Brady.
Let me just disagree for 1 second, John.
Not Tom Brady.
Devontae Adams is hurt all the
You know
time.
that.
Who does Aaron Rodgers have? And Rodgers is still putting up the numbers.
Right, but not just the look at the standard we're putting Lamar Jackson to. We're comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, who's probably going to go down as, in my opinion, he's probably a top
year.
He's probably a top 5 quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented, complete quarterbacks we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, we got to stop comparing guys to Mahomes and Rodgers, because
Okay, that's fine, but then you can't pay them like that.
Those guys are diamonds in the rough. And I mean, listen, I think the Ravens are in actually a really good situation, because you got 1 year left on Lamar. After this year, you got 1 year, and then you got his option year. If the Ravens are smart, they try and offer Lamar Jackson a contract now, because his play doesn't back up him getting a $30 to $40 million contract.
But hold on, but you just said, because you just nailed it right on the head. You said we got to stop comparing them to Mahomes and Rodgers, which I agree with you, but then we got to stop paying them like that too.
Right, but that'll never happen, because that's not up to us and that's not up to them. Listen to me. These guys go – the problem is the players union and the Players Association won't allow these guys to take less, because their job is to protect the players and to get the players as much money as they possibly can. And it's not – listen, that's not a bad thing, because these guys go out there and Lamar Jackson at any moment could have a Joe Burrow type injury. And listen to me, Joe Burrow, he'll probably bounce back, because Joe Burrow isn't the kind of guy who needs his legs. RG3 got hurt. RG3 wasn't the same anymore.
But Kenny, do you think that because I heard this the other day too, and it was fascinating how I don't know, it might have been Mark Schleth was saying how it used to work with New England. Like if Bill, I mean, I think Bill Belichick thinks Lamar Jackson's pretty decent, right? Right?
Okay. He loves him.
Okay. He loves him. I could tell you right now, though. I could tell you right now, there's no way he would ever pay him $30 million, because he's smart. See, they were saying that standard in New England used to go like this. I forgot who it was. I don't remember. It was one of the defensive players. I don't know. It was maybe one of the defensive players where his contract came up, just like you guys are saying, going rate. And he said, hey, I'm looking for like 22 a year. It might have been one of the kid. Who's the guy they traded to Cleveland or –
Jamie Collins.
Jamie Collins. He said, well, like so-and-so, Von Miller got this, so he went, Tom makes 18, nothing more than 18. That's how it is. I don't care what Von Miller got. You're not Von Miller, and you're not better than Tom Brady. So sit back, or I ship you to Cleveland. Smart teams and smart guys make those decisions.
I agree. But again, it's going to come down to, I don't think Lamar is going to be in the realm of top 5 paid quarterbacks in the league, because I think it's more so teams won't want to do that, because he does rely on his legs a lot. And someone like him goes down and gets a leg injury, which
your career changes.
He's not the kind of guy who can change his game. You know what I mean? Or he's not the kind of guy who can then not run as much and rely on his arm. So that's my only take on it. But I'm telling you right now, Lamar Jackson will be making $30 million a year. Mm-hmm. It will happen. The Players Association won't allow him to take less. And the crazy thing is,
but you got to sign him. But somebody's got to sign him. He just can't go and say, I want $30 million. I mean, someone's got to make that dumb decision to sign him.
A team will, though, because at the end of the day,
you also got to remember too that the teams. I get it. People hate it. But he brings people to the stadiums.
Yes.
Like, who do you want as your quarterback?
It's a business quarterback,
or you want to see Lamar Jackson? People want to see Lamar Jackson. They don't want to see Drew Lock.
I wouldn't want Lamar
top 4 in jersey sales.
You're crazy. You know how many kids go to the games and they want to see Lamar Jackson jerseys because he sells.
But then let me ask you something. Why don't they have to sell in New England? Listen, everybody here says Tom Brady. Listen, but John, I joke around about Brady, but you know what? Brady obviously is one of the top 10 quarterbacks. I mean, there's no one who's going to say he's not top 10. They basically said to him, you're taking this. I don't care what you're taking this. That's what it was with him.
No, there's differences. Tom Brady, a lot of people, you got to understand this. Tom Brady has monster endorsement deals. So Tom Brady's okay making $15 million a year when he's making $30 million off the field.
Right,
He's
but
okay.
the team has to sign him. Like,
Yeah, but
no
when you're
team.
with the team for so long, you're okay with that. I could pull it up right now. Before the past 5 years, Tom Brady was getting paid, man.
Right, but he was never getting paid like 30 million, 25. He wasn't like that.
Because it's not
Right.
2020,
But
2019.
but
It was
Kurt,
2015 where the money wasn't that high. Quarterbacks weren't getting that high. You were getting a rookie quarterback coming out of college that was getting paid
Right,
more
but
than
you know what?
the guy
But,
was in the league for 8 years.
but guys, here's what I always came. And again, it's either you're going to do two things. You're either going to pay the stud quarterback, or you're going to go cheap with a younger quarterback and take a shot with him so you could build up around him. Teams get in trouble, and you've seen it. Teams get in trouble where they're taking an average quarterback, giving him superstar quarterback money, and it's hurting, and those people can't develop. You know, we talk about Mahomes. Mahomes can play on any team. I'm not going to say Mahomes is going to go on Jacksonville and win 14 games, but if you put Mahomes on Jacksonville, I'm going to tell you this right now. They're going to be in a lot of games and have a shot to get to the playoffs just because it's Mahomes, and that's what a guy has to do. We always go back to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, that move, that team was on the cusp of getting to a Super Bowl. Cusp. They went with him instead of Keenum, and they took this guy out, that guy out, this guy out, because they couldn't afford him, and Cousins bombed, and it ruined the franchise. That's what people they do have to think about. It's either younger quarterback or, like, listen, I like Drew Lock. But hold on. But wait, I want Drew Lock as my quarterback next year. But Drew Lock ain't going to go and say, hey, John, 28 a year. Are you crazy? Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I'm looking at Tom Brady's overall contracts he's ever had, right? 2010, he was making $19 million. 2010, okay? 2011, $19 million. 2012, $16 million. 2013, $17 million. You're talking about money that's top quarterback money back in the day. Why was nobody talking about that back in the day? Why?
Because again, that's because that money, because 16 million on 110 cap is not bad. It's not. It's the stupid money. See, only it is great because your
players. Cap in 2010 wasn't $200 million. It was $150 million.
We could argue this all day. We just had NBA free agency, okay? LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, those guys should get whatever they got. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Hey, they're interested in Gordon Hayward. Are you out of your mind to give that guy $120 million? Mark my words. Not this year. Next year, the poison contract, everyone, they're going to want to get rid of him. Don't pay a guy that's average that money. Don't do it.
Injury prone, average. You're right.
Don't do it.
Michael Jordan is such a bad.
My quick take on Lamar Jackson is it's not his fault. I'm starting to believe John Harbaugh is a little overrated and has become the new Andy Reid. Can't win the big game.
How do you say that? He won a Super Bowl, though.
He's choked the last couple of years. It's Lamar hasn't performed as well neither, but Harbaugh's got to win those games too, Kurt. I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan at all. It's he's part to blame for it, but I'm not a fan of John Harbaugh lately.
Kenny, I got to say one thing, Kenny, and I wish Coach Breslin was on. We got to bring Coach Breslin on to have this conversation because, again, great football coach. But watch Ohio State, okay? And this is where we get into the Justin Fields. Watch Ohio State games, watch Oklahoma games. But particularly those two teams. Those you're going to see wide receivers just wide open. Why? Because the college system, that system that Ohio State runs, okay, they are getting 5-star athletes across the board. So they're going to go with one back or 5 receivers and the quarterback in the backfield. Now you're playing like a Minnesota who's got 2-star athletes lining up against them, okay? Listen, the thing you go and say is, okay, we're going to play a zone. Don't get beat deep. Okay, so what's going to happen? Ohio State's going to run the ball down your throat. Then you're going to go and say, all right, I guess I got to play man because I can't have him run 8 yards a play. And then a 2-star on a 5-star. It's system. It's Dwayne Haskins. Oh, my God, look at him. He stinks.
Kurt, hold on. Kurt, let me just cut you off. You're trusting people who are giving people ratings on how they play. They said Tom Brady wasn't even draftable, okay? The same guy who said that's a 5-star recruit and that's a 2-star recruit said Tom Brady's a garbage quarterback. And look what Tom Brady became.
Steph Curry went to Davidson.
Okay, Curry went to Davidson.
Okay, good point.
Okay.
But what I'm saying though is watch though. But the system. See, in high school football, and we can get to this again. But hold on, Bergen Catholic could play Wallington, right? Bergen Catholic could play Wallington. Bergen Catholic system, just the way they're going to go 5 wide or 4 wide, 2 and 2, even set with one back, and they're just going to go and say, listen, when there's 2 safeties deep, we're going to run zone and zone read. We're going to gash them for 8 yards. Then they're going to have 1 safety, bring them up, and we're going to run 4 verticals on 3 defenders. They're just so much better. The problem is, though, when those teams now play St. Joe's, those teams now play Del Barton, they play Don Bosco. The thing is, when it goes to the 4 linebackers can cover those guys. It's the same thing in college. You're getting Ohio State and Oklahoma. Those guys are wide open. Let me ask you something. C.D. Lamb's a stud, right? C.D. Lamb. When you watch half of his in half of his highlights in college, he's either catching a 5-yard screen route and going 80 or running by guys and he's wide open. He doesn't do that now. Right? He doesn't do that now. How come?
Because he doesn't have a
same thing. Same thing with Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs, right? Remember him last year? They don't do it now. Henry Ruggs runs a 2.6. He's not doing it now.
Well, that's why only 53 guys make a roster in the NFL.
I mean,
but the best of the best.
But that like when you
look, it's not the system. It's that's hard to say the system because you're talking about kids in especially in high school, Bergen Catholic, Bosco, all these kids. You're recruiting kids from all over the state of New Jersey to come play for your school. You can't compare that. You're talking about a kid who grew up. I grew up in Garfield. If I grew up in Garfield and I went to Don Bosco, I have a way better chance going to the pros in Don Bosco than I will in Garfield.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But here's the thing.
And actually, how about Alex? You remember this? Actually, how many people you remember that went to the pros that are actually really big that went to Don Bosco?
Is Dwayne Haskins a good quarterback?
He
Curry, I want to say one thing.
Right
I think Dwayne Haskins has had a very unfair go of it. If anything, to be honest with you, let's think about it this way.
Sam Darnold, Danny Dimes,
Daniel Jones, Kenny, you probably watch more of Daniel. Well, I have to. He's on TV every day here, so every Sunday. But
by the way, Kenny, Tom Casey's saying Dragon Boys. Tom Casey's checking in with us.
Thanks,
he has single-handedly lost the Giants so many games. He has looked so damn bad in so many games. He's looked worse in more games than he's looked good. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And Petro, why?
Well, 1, because he's a rookie. 2, because he's been without his best player for pretty much his whole entire career so far. No Saquon Barkley I think he's had Saquon for 3 games. So, you know what I mean? Dwayne Haskins last year, he's got Jay Gruden as his head coach. Jay Gruden didn't want to draft him. They made Jay Gruden draft Dwayne Haskins. So Jay Gruden, to teach Dwayne Haskins a lesson, and for whatever reason, says, you're not even going to run second team offense. You're not even going to run third team offense. We're going to have you run scout offense against our regular defense. So he's not learning anything about the Redskins offense. Okay.
Dumb.
This coming year, he has a whole entire new offense, whole new coaching staff, gets handed a playbook with no real offseason. And they say, here you go. Figure this out because you're only going to get a very small window to play well. It's just not fair, man. Listen, he was a 1-year starter at Ohio State. 1 year. He started 1 year in college. He had a great year because, like you said, he's got studs all around him. You know what I mean? No rookie quarterbacks are really going to come in and light it up because any first-round quarterback is getting drafted on a really bad football team. And
Petro, just to piggyback off you, and we could change it. Here's a perfect example, and I'll use my Jets, okay? Mark Sanchez came out, got drafted high, right? First few years, what happened? Mark Sanchez wasn't a great quarterback, but what happened?
Great
2 AFC
defense.
championship games, right? You know why?
Mhm.
You know who was on his team? He had talent around him. He had Tomlinson.
Yeah.
He had Edwards. He had Marshall. He had Decker. He had talent around him. Okay, look at Sam
Mhm.
Darnold. You draft him high, right? Who they give Sam Darnold in 3 years? Name me
Jamison
something.
Crowder. Jamison Crowder.
Jameson Crowder in 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I
agree.
By the way, guys, Tom's saying Haskins is the
Come on.
future of Washington. Rivera is protecting Haskins.
No.
I actually think so. I don't think that's that crazy of a statement, because
It's not.
I do think Ron. Listen to me, Ron Rivera has had so many chances to come out and absolutely thrash Dwayne Haskins. Listen to me, Dwayne Haskins has been called lazy. He was the one main reason they said behind his benching was because after the Ravens game, he threw for 300 yards against the Ravens, and he was bragging that he threw for 300 yards and didn't turn the ball over. Okay, that's not a good look. Okay, so you have a reason to bench him because you're bragging about losing a game that you didn't do enough to win, and you're only bragging because you didn't turn the ball over. He's young, he's immature, but at the end of the day, you got to give the kid a real chance to try and at least try and succeed. You know what I mean?
Deal.
Like,
I agree, Petro. I agree. They got to give him a try. But one more thing, John. Going back and again, and Kenny, we'll answer your Buck question.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got something.
When Beelan says though
I'm
there's
holding
no
off for a
system,
minute.
when he says there's no system, it's plug and play in Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. Plug and play. That guy, whoever it is, Rattler, Baker,
No,
Murray.
that's not true. Rattler's trash.
Well, I
Rattler's
can
trash.
tell.
I told you that week 1 he was trash.
Okay,
And what
well, I
happened?
can tell you this
They
right
benched
now.
him.
He's going to have
They
numbers.
benched him.
He's going to give you numbers.
Yeah, he's going to give you numbers because his defense is giving up 50, 60 points a game.
But he's going to give you he's going to give you stats.
But Rattler's trash. He's
Sorry, I
trash.
want to bring up something.
Remember
Okay.
that. Trash.
Go ahead.
Here's why I agree with Kurt, guys, on Justin Fields and Dwayne Haskins. From 2006 to present day, here's your Ohio State quarterbacks. Troy Smith, 2006. Todd Boakman, Terrell Pryor, Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones, J.T. Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields. What makes him different from those other quarterbacks?
Well, Kenny, first off, every one of those guys you named were somehow Heisman candidates. That's scary. That's scary.
The players around him, guys, in my opinion, the receivers and the running backs are the five-star athletes that are making these quarterbacks. Watch out for Justin Fields in the draft. I think he's going to be a bust. I'm sorry. Just
Kenny,
my opinion. Just my opinion. I think he's going to be a bust.
This is to back up my thing again, okay? This is to back it up, and it's proven, okay? If Justin Fields gets put on the Jaguars, for example, okay, he's going to suck. If you do not bring talent in around him, he's going to be trash. Trevor Lawrence, if he gets drafted by the Jets and they don't bring talent around him, he's going to be trash.
I disagree with you. I disagree
You're crazy.
with you. I
Where
disagree.
I disagree, John. I just disagree.
Trevor will be trash. I don't think he'll be trash.
Right. See, this is the thing. I'm
think-
going to be honest with you. See, I envy your position, Beelan, right now. Because you know why? I had John Elway for 17 years. I've had John Elway for 17 years. And I've had Peyton Manning for 4. And you know what? There's nothing. You got the next one. You're getting, if you guys lose, you're getting the next one. It doesn't matter if he has Mims. Doesn't matter if he has Wayne Quebec coming. He's that good. Those guys make those guys that good. Listen, John Elway threw to Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, Sammy Winder. Who did he throw to? Ed McCaffrey.
But who was his running back?
He was going to Super
Peyton-
Bowl.
Who was his running back?
Peyton came into a pretty good team. Peyton struggled. Peyton was rough for those first couple years. But you know what? They stuck with him. It's got to take time. You just got to be more patient. Listen to me. Everyone now thinks because you had guys like that come in and just pick it up right away and like listen to me. The Chiefs. They found themselves a diamond in the rough. That does not happen
100%.
that often. You know what I mean? Like it's the standard that they're holding these rookies to. It's so beyond unfair and ridiculous.
Well, see, Petro, I agree with you, but the problem is because it comes down to money. Like I totally agree with you. Like Carson Wentz, I still kind of believe in Carson Wentz.
So do I.
I can't give
I think
Carson
Wentz is
but
I think
Carson
Wentz
Wentz.
is a good
If
quarterback.
you give Carson Wentz $128 million, you better be Aaron Rodgers because
Hold on.
that's what you're getting paid
Carson
for
Wentz,
now.
Carson Wentz is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL right now. There's nothing he could do. There's literally nothing he could do.
Why do you believe in Carson Wentz for when Nick Foles won a championship with him and Carson Wentz can't do crap with him?
But then why'd you pay him? Why'd they pay him?
To be fair, what has Nick Foles done since that
Why'd
championship?
they pay him?
It doesn't matter though. Doesn't. 2 teams he brought to the Super Bowl. Okay, 2 teams brought to the Super Bowl.
Right,
2.
but here's
Carson Wentz.
No, but here's your thing, John, and this is what you Petro just said it. The pressure, right? But like Josh Allen shouldn't be going 40 mil. No, pal, you won nothing. You won nothing. You've done nothing. No.
Well, Kurt, look at this. When Josh Allen was in the NFL, right, the first 2 seasons, he was nobody. You know what they did? They brought talent in to help him out. They brought in Stephon Diggs. What's he doing? Who's Stephon Diggs right now?
Okay.
Who's Stephon
but
Diggs
I want. Okay, so John. I want a division championship. I want at least you better get to the divisional playoff round.
He's winning division for you.
Well, no, but
Josh Allen's winning division,
and you better win you better get to the second playoff round of the NFL and be in that.
But Kurt, you talk crap about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was in the NFC Championship game last year. So how come?
No, he wasn't. No, they weren't.
Kirk Cousins was in the NFC Championship game last year. They beat the Saints.
But they didn't. The championship game was Green Bay and San Fran. He got to the second round of the playoffs. He didn't get to the second round of the playoffs. But still, he got out of the first round of the playoffs. Right,
you know what I mean?
but you can't. But for that amount of money, you got to be like. But he took a team that was in the championship game. He went backwards.
They were in the championship game though because of one of the most ridiculous miracle plays I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey.
And Kurt, and this is even proves my point even better. It's Baker Mayfield. His first 2 years of happening in the NFL. What happened with nobody around him? He was trash. You bring in Odell, Landry, all these other guys, Nick Chubb. What happened now? Look at Baker Mayfield's way better quarterback than he was 2 years ago.
I'm not saying he's way better, but are you giving Baker $32 million a year for 5 years?
No.
Okay. Well, that's my whole point.
But I think he'll get close to that.
See, that's my point. Like
that's what the rate is going to be.
So don't pay it though. If he's not worth it, don't pay it.
Well, you can't go against it if that's what the rate is for quarterbacks.
Sure.
It's no different than franchising somebody. Why must a franchise?
Because think about what you just said, Kenny. And I promise I'll go this time. But think about what you just said.
Why?
You just said he was nothing without talent.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Nobody is.
Now, so you bring in the talent, meaning you got to give out money to get that talent. But now you guys win, but now you're going to give the money back to the quarterback who can't win without talent, but you're going to lose that talent that you just brought in for him because you can't afford everybody. You're back at step 1. Right? You're back at step 1. The Browns can't pay Beckham, Landry, Chubb. They can't pay all those guys. You can't.
Why not?
Because you can't. Think about it. You got to pay Myles Garrett. That's going to be
the Cowboys are going to do it.
No, how?
They're going to do it. Somehow they're going to do it. Dak's going to get
a
contract by them. Dak's going to be the quarterback, and the next year they're going to be a top 5. They're going to be a top 5 offense that they were. Okay, and he's going to get his money.
But are they going to win? You're not going to have talent. The offensive linemen are going to want money. They're not.
You're not going to have defense.
No way. You're
Kurt. Would you say Baker Mayfield's better than Phillip Rivers right now?
He wants to say yes. 100% he's saying yes.
Okay, here's a better one.
That's close.
Would you say he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, because I think Jimmy Garoppolo is horrendous. Okay. Yes.
He's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you take Baker Mayfield over Carson Wentz?
Right now, for the money, yes.
Okay, but take the money out of it.
Everything equal?
I'm just saying. So let's use Jimmy G as a standard, just because Jimmy G. So you would take Baker Mayfield over Jimmy G, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Jimmy G makes $27.5 million.
It's stupid.
But I'm saying, so what an agent and what a quarterback will say, what Baker Mayfield will say, is if Jimmy G is making $27.5 million,
Right.
and I'm better than Jimmy G,
Right.
I'm going to get at least.
Well, again,
28
well,
million.
right, but smart teams are going to see. You're right, but smart teams are going to go and say, okay, but Baker, San Francisco made a mistake and shouldn't have paid him because now look at their team. So I'm not going to make the same mistake San Francisco. Go to San Francisco. They'll pay you $27 million. I can't pay you $7 million. Because here's the difference.
I got hurt on the spot, guys.
San Francisco was in the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, but-
so with the same team. It's not like they
brought him to the Super Bowl.
Here's where I got to put Kurt on the spot. When Baker Mayfield came in the draft, I'm changing this right up right now. Baker Mayfield came in the draft. He was the best thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
Because he won the Heisman.
You loved him.
Yes, I did.
Okay? Throwing all your eggs in a basket with Trevor Lawrence on a Clemson team that's got all 5-star recruits around him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? And you put him on, like John said, you put him on a team that has no offense. Watch. I'm telling you, the kid from BYU, the point I'm making is
To be an average quarterback.
go with the quarterbacks that are playing in a system that don't have the 5-star wide receivers around.
Hey, we'll change the subject after this. But Kurt, when your next a teacher's union contract comes up, I'm gonna talk to your union's rep and I'm gonna let them know that you guys aren't worth it because there's somebody else behind you that your stats are crappy. Okay.
The question I had for Petro and John, the question I had for you is: you threw all your eggs in the basket with Baker Mayfield, and when you were wrong, what makes you so confident that you're going to be right about Trevor Lawrence?
Because again,
I think Trevor Lawrence is a sexy pick because he completely checks all the boxes and he's
right.
But you see it. He passes the eye test, but like not for nothing, there have been plenty of quarterbacks that pass the eye test.
Yes, there have been, but Petro, from when you talk about, and I know you guys are saying, listen, the scouts don't get everybody right, of course, but when the big time scouts and they go and say it was Elway, Manning, Andrew Luck, and now Trevor Lawrence. Listen, those three are Hall of Famers. Hands down. Again, Andrew Luck, again, he got hurt, he retired, whatever, but listen, when he came in year after year 2, he was a top 5 quarterback in league. Trevor Lawrence is a can't miss product.
Did you see they did a ranking for quarterbacks drafted from 2017 to 2021? They did a top, I think it was like top 20 or whatever it was. And they put Trevor Lawrence, they put Mahomes obviously at number 1. And they have Trevor Lawrence at 2. How is that possible?
Because he's going to be that good, Kenny. He's
going to be that good. But I just don't understand how that's even possible. The guy hasn't thrown an NFL.
Guys, how about this? Deshaun Watson. How's Deshaun Watson doing this year? How's the Texans?
They had Deshaun Watson at 3.
Oh, what's Deshaun Watson doing this year?
He's actually not playing terrible. He's like not obviously as good because he doesn't.
You know what happened? You took Hopkins away from him, and he's not that good anymore.
Right, but you had to take Hopkins away because you had to pay him. They basically said, "I can't pay both guys."
No, they could have paid him.
But you can't pay 3 guys on a football team. You got to pay a whole team.
I don't know how that's not. I don't know how that's true because the Chiefs are paying literally everybody. The Chiefs just went and they re-signed Kelsey. They went and they paid the big D lineman. What's his name? Jones. Then they went and they gave Patrick Mahomes the biggest contract in sports history.
And Hill's next year.
That's what I'm saying. You got Tyreek Hill and Tyrann Mathieu, and they're probably going to figure it out and sign them too. So
right, but nobody else besides little Matthew. Nobody else on that defense gets paid anything. And Jones.
You're going to be going
just signed the biggest D lineman contract.
Right. But I'm saying everything else is nothing. Like those guys get nothing.
Right, but I'm saying
they're going to hire moving truck guys.
Their offensive lineman gets paid nothing. Who's on their offensive line that gets paid?
Eric Fisher. He's one of the best left tackles in football.
What's he get paid though?
Yeah, he gets paid.
He gets
paid. I'm telling you, he gets taken care of. There's ways around it. You just got to be smart with how the contracts are structured with the cap. That's why, like, Mahomes' cap hit, yeah, he's making a lot of money, but you have to just be smart with it and how you structure the deals. There are ways to do it. You can do it. The Dallas Cowboys, listen to me, as strapped for cash as the Cowboys are, they're paying Zeke, they're paying Cooper, they're paying Jalen Smith, they're playing Dexter Lawrence, they're playing all these guys. So
right,
I mean,
but here's the thing. See, when you win a Super Bowl and you're the Chiefs and you go out and do it, you could do it. The Cowboys are not good. The Cowboys are not good. They have to go make moves. You can't just bring Dak back and say, here's our team again. They stunk. Seriously,
I'm gonna be
they
honest.
stink.
I don't think the Cowboys are as bad as people think. I just think that they lost close games because the games that they did lose were close. And it's just that they really just need they need a defensive back. That's their one thing that they're hurting on. Other than that, there really isn't that much of a weakness on their football team. They got a great linebacker. They got a phenomenal defensive lineman. Their offensive line, two of them opted out for the season. One of them got hurt. The two of them got hurt. So, that team this year is not the same Cowboy team that you're going to see on the field next year. And Dak does make them better. I think it's proven that you can't. It's obviously shown because the offense was putting up 500 yards and scoring touchdowns, and now that offense is absolutely terrible.
By the way, real quick,
I'm a Washington fan, and I'm dreading watching that game on Thanksgiving because it's just going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be awful.
By the way, real quick, 2020 cap space: Frank Clark, $25 million; Tyreek Hill, $15 million; Honey Badger, Nick Teen, Chris Jones, 21; Fisher, 14; Anthony Hitchens, 10; Kelsey, 13; Schwartz, 10; Mahomes, 24. Here's the difference: nobody else on that team makes more than $2 million.
Wait, hold on.
You're not going to win like that. Your other teams aren't going to win like that. They're in a different situation.
$15 million over the cap, though.
They're in a different situation.
They're $15 million over the cap.
That's next year. You got out of a 53 line, 53. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 40 people out of 53 making $2 million or less. You ain't going to win like that unless you said
Mahomes 24.
Next year, 24.
Yeah, they structured a contract. That's
what I'm saying. The way that they structured it with the cap, that's good front office work.
Right, but
I'm saying,
where's Dallas going to get that? Dallas don't have Tyreek Hills and Honey Badger.
You remember their whole offense is an all-pro offense. The offensive line is like every person's an all-pro freaking lineman.
Yeah, and 4 of them are out. Yeah. They were all out with Dak. So listen, it's a tough way to look at the Cowboys this year, just because literally every single thing that could have gone wrong with the Cowboys this year, it went wrong, and it went wrong and somehow got worse. So I hate the Cowboys, man. It's in my blood. I have to hate them, but I'll side with them and say.
Think about this. We talk about that, but Amari Cooper, $22 million, that's a joke. I'm gonna be honest. Amari Cooper wouldn't start on the Broncos. He's not better than Judy or Cortland Sutton. Make $22 million.
Kurt, you know you don't mean that.
I do. Wait. Who you'd rather take Amari Cooper over Jerry Judy?
Yes,
of
course I would.
Kenny?
Because he's a proven veteran wide receiver.
Oh my God!
Look at what he's done with the Cowboys so far.
Hold on. Here, Kenny, Kurt. His rookie year, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. His second year, 1,400 yards, 5 touchdowns. Third year, he got hurt. He had 800 yards.
He's not even their number one receiver, but he's not even their number one receiver now.
2018,
right? Because they're on their 4th quarterback.
But CD Lamb's their best receiver.
But they're on their 4th quarterback.
Kurt, we gotta move on.
All right.
We're gonna get basketball talk in tonight too.
Let's already
9:15. Let's do this last question, this last topic, rapid fire style. So Pac-12 recently allowed their teams in the conference to seek teams outside the conference. They're allowing them to look for games. If you had to pick one team to pick, basically, if you look for one team, who would you like to see scheduled outside the Pac-12? I'll start. I would love to see BYU go to either Oregon or USC and prove that they belong in the playoff contention.
I'll go next because there was a rumor that Washington has a date and Washington wanted to offer BYU a shot to play, and BYU said, "Oh well, we don't want to do it now because we want to see where we are in the standings." And look what the standings did. They put them 14th. So if they don't want to play Washington, they're afraid to play Washington. Something's wrong because
they need to schedule somebody.
That doesn't seem right. They definitely need. And even Washington, that's not like a game that would, you'd want to see USC play against Like I think Cincinnati would benefit the most from it. Because if Cincinnati can go and beat USC, I think that would be a very, very, very good win for them. And you would show that, they can play with the big dogs. I would say Cincinnati more so than BYU, just because I just don't think BYU is Cincinnati.
You can't be playing North Alabama and expect to be in the top 4.
Right. It's just not going to happen. So I think Cincinnati would benefit the most from it playing against like a USC team. Because, as good as USC is supposed to look this year, they haven't been that great. They've struggled their first 2 games. They won, but they struggled. Though they fought for those wins. So,
Beelan?
The Ducks. All day, the Ducks, man. They
play who? BYU?
I mean,
who do you want Oregon to play out? Who do you want them to go?
I would love them to probably, don't hold me to this, but I'd love them to say play them Notre Dame. Even though I know still, I know they went to the SEC and they're just plugged into there, but I think Oregon can take down Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I was going to say Miami too, just because the Hurricanes they didn't get to play against Notre Dame this year, and I think it's ridiculous because somehow Notre Dame didn't get to. Notre Dame only got to see Clemson, and that's it. You know what I mean? They're gonna. I think that it's pretty clear that they're going to run the table. So I think it's kind of bogus that Miami didn't get a shot to take down Notre Dame because that would have been a really good football game. So my thing would be outside of that, Miami would be a good Miami USC would be a great game because I think you would get to see how good Miami is because I think the Hurricanes are slowly getting back into the fold of things and they're a very good football team. That quarterback is fun to watch, man. That kid King, he is a good quarterback.
Fair enough. Kurt, you want to do your top 6? You want to take over?
Yeah, I'll do my top 6. The rankings came out last night, and for the first college football playoff ranking, and what I would go, Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2. I would go Ohio State 3, Clemson 4, Florida 5, Texas A&M 6. I mean, I'm sorry. I just, to me, Cincinnati had their shot. Listen, it's not easy to go to UCF, Central Florida, and win over there. But they're going over there struggling. They need to score late to win. 36, they got this defense that's going to stop anybody in the country. And UCF went up and down the field, 400 yards of offense, scored 33 points. Can you imagine what Alabama and Clemson would do to them? Just they have no. The only chance they got to get to the playoff is if all the teams ahead of them lose. So I think they're out. I think it's going to be the Florida Texas A&M things. I think Florida is better. Actually, I'm sorry. I would put A&M 5, Florida 6 because they beat them head up. I think Florida is the better team, but you cannot put them ahead of a team that beat you. So that's where I'm going to go. BYU at 14. Listen, the committee just said, you guys play nobody. You didn't know conference championship. We're going to put you 14th. I mean, it's a slap in the face, and it's reality to them. That's what they want to do. You don't want to play anybody. You have no shot to get to the playoff. So those are mine.
Where do you want to go next, Kurt? You're up.
You go, Kenny.
Bama. This is going to change next week, and after we do football, we're going to do college picks.
By the way, did you guys hear Nick Saban COVID again? He's not coaching in the Iron Bowl.
Again. Yeah.
This is going to change next week, I promise you. But right now, I got Bama 1, Notre Dame 2, reluctantly putting Ohio State 3. I'm putting Cincinnati 4, Clemson 5, Florida 6.
Okay. Petro?
I have Bama 1. I have Ohio State 2. Notre Dame 3, Clemson 4. I'd probably put Florida 5, and then I would put A&M 6. But I do think, John, the Oregon Ducks, I think if they run the table, they can sneak into that top 5, top 6 because they're pretty good.
They have to run the table, though, Petro?
Absolutely. In the Pac-12, they have to. I think any Pac-12 team has to be undefeated to get into the college football playoff because the Pac-12 isn't that good.
Yep.
It's just not that good. I know they're a big boy conference. But the Pac-12 isn't the same Pac-12 that it used to be 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. It's just not the same. So they have to be undefeated to get in. And they would get in being undefeated over Cincinnati just because of the power teams that they do play. The teams that they do play, even though the Pac-12 is not that good, it's better than the teams that Cincinnati and the BYUs are playing. So that would be my take on it. It would be hard for me to put Oregon in over those top 4 teams, though, even if they do run the table. Because I don't know if Clemson goes and loses in the ACC championship game and gets 2 losses, that changes things. You know what I mean? Because then they would have 2 losses. I think it would be hard to put a 2-loss team, even if one of the losses were without Trevor Lawrence. I don't think you could put them in over a Pac-12 team that goes undefeated. But if Clemson beats Notre Dame and both of them have 1 loss and one was with and without him, they'll both get in. So
okay, Beelan?
I know you're definitely not gonna like this, but Bama, Notre Dame, Ohio State. I think Texas A&M should be number 4, Clemson should be number 5, and Florida should be number 6. Clemson, I said this all year, hasn't played nobody, and they're still not playing nobody. Okay, they only beat really Miami at the beginning of the year, and that was it. And then they got lost to Notre Dame, and they haven't played. So I don't know how you still sit at number 3 when other teams are actually beating other teams. And nothing against them, but it is what it is. It happens. So I don't know. Ohio State's they're beating bigger teams. They beat Indiana, which everybody knew Indiana was my big dark horse this year. They don't play anybody after this the rest of the year. And honestly, I think, listen, if Notre Dame can beat UNC, which is probably going to be one of their toughest matches besides Clemson, I don't think they're going to get to number 1, but I don't know. I'm just not a big Clemson fan, man. They don't play anybody. It's nothing against them. It's just.
But all right, Beelan, I agree with you this, Beelan. I don't care if they lose 31-30 heartbreaker to Notre Dame in the ACC championship. There's no way they could be considered. No way, Clemson. They have to win.
No. They got to win out.
They have to
got to
win
run
out.
the table. They got to run the table. I completely agree. Yeah, completely agree.
There's so many other good teams that are in the 5 and 6 range that could be up there, like that A&M, Florida. Northwestern's got a little surprise jump, but then you got these other teams like Oregon, USC, BYU. Don't hate on them, man. It only takes 1 game. That's it.
Parrot, I think we're ready for picks real quick.
All right.
Before we get into you got an all-in on the fence tonight.
Do you want to do that, or you want to get to the college basketball? Well, let's do college basketball first, and then we'll get into that, just so we get the college in.
Oh, you want? I was going to say let's do the picks real quick.
Yeah. I meant before the all-in, we'll do it.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead, Kenny. You can
go
start
first
us
on
off.
college.
We're doing NFL?
I can start us off on college.
We have our records?
I'm going to take
Mr. Kirkpatrick's got our.
You're just talking about Clemson, how John and I don't like them too much. Pitt always plays them tight. Give me 26. I got it at 26. I may be wrong. Give me Pitt against Clemson, covering the spread.
Okay.
I'm going to go with your boys. Surprisingly, a low spread, but another team that plays Alabama really good. I'm going to take Auburn. That line is very fishy to me. I can tell you my boys, Cincy, 35 over Temple.
That game got canceled.
Got canceled. I'll have to find another game.
Yes, that got canceled.
My upset's Petro's North Carolina Tar Heels over the Irish. And I'll find another game.
All right, guys, if Notre Dame loses, are they out, Petro?
Yes.
I think it would be
I think to North Carolina, yes.
No, I don't think so, because that would be losing to a top 20 ranked team. So
then the winner of Notre Dame,
one of those 2 teams get in.
One of those gets in.
It depends on how bad they lose.
Okay, good. Right, they can't get beat 41-10.
Yeah, if Notre Dame comes out and hands it to them, that's a little different, I think. But I don't think they're going to drop this game to North Carolina. So I don't see that happening.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'll take Notre Dame -5.5. I think they handle their business and take care of it. Ohio State, I'll take the 28.5. I think they cover that no problem. What is it? It's 2 and then an underdog, or is
Yeah.
it 3 and then an
Two
underdog?
and right, 2 and an underdog, Kenny, or 3 and an underdog?
3 and an underdog.
Okay.
I'll
3
give
and then
mine
an
after
underdog.
Petro goes my third team.
Okay. I'll take Oregon minus 13.5 over Oregon State. And my underdog that I'm going to take. Ooh, this is tough.
Yeah, it's tough this week.
Yeah, this is like a really. I'll take Penn State over Michigan as my underdog. Both teams are really bad.
And before you or Beelan go, Kurt, I'm going to take Wisconsin bouncing back against Minnesota. I think Minnesota's terrible.
Okay.
I think it's 21 or 24.
That game might get canceled.
Whatever it is, I'm taking it.
Hold on. Make sure that game might have got canceled too.
Hey, is it 2 or 3 games regular and then underdog?
3 regular and an underdog.
All right.
That one got canceled too?
It might have. I don't see it on the board.
Which game?
Wisconsin. I think that got canceled. Minnesota,
it did.
Wisconsin.
It did.
It got canceled, yeah.
All right, John, you go, and I'll look for another one.
All right. So who's writing these down? Anyone writing these down?
Kenny's writing it down.
I thought you were writing them down.
No, Mr.
don't worry.
Kirkpatrick.
I go to work and I listen to our shows all the time, so I'll have them.
Oh man, what's our records? 0 and 0.
Right. Nobody know. All right.
All right. I'm gonna take Notre Dame, 5.5. I'm gonna take Iowa State over Texas. I'm gonna take. Man, I do want to take Ohio State, but I'm just right there. I'm gonna go with Indiana 11 over Maryland.
Okay.
And then my underdog, and you guys know I've been riding with this team too all year so far, but Colorado over USC.
Whew. Big one.
I like it.
All right, Kenny. I'm gonna take
straight outright winner too.
I'm gonna start Friday. And I'm going to take I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to go opposite of Petro. I think Michigan's win last week was big. I think they switched the quarterback. They got, remember Joe, what's his name? Milton's going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. He's done. He's out. The new guy, what's his name? McNamara, whatever his name is. I'm going to take Michigan over Penn State. I agree with Petro on Ohio State. I think that they're going to get ripped for how they finished that game last week. And their defense will come to play. I think they'll blow Indiana out. And my Illinois. I'm sorry. And my third one, I guess I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to go UCF against South Florida Friday. I think they're going to come off a bad loss to Cincinnati, and I think they'll take it out on them. Outright upset's hard. I'm going to go SEC. And I'm going to take...
Do it, Kurt. Auburn.
No, well, listen, I don't bet my team, but listen, I think they could play with them this week. I'm going to take Mississippi State over Mississippi. I'm going to take is my outright upset.
My third game, I'm going to take a second shot with these guys who burned me a couple weeks ago. Arizona State over Utah. I think it's like 3 or 3.5.
All right.
So you want to skip all in, and we're going to go to our college basketball.
Yeah, let's do some college basketball.
Let's do it.
So
okay, you're taking over.
I'm taking over. All right, we're going to do conference champs real quick, okay? So I'm going to go Petro, Beelan, Kenny, and then I'll go. So give me this is regular season Big East champion college basketball this year.
Big East.
Villanova.
Okay.
One of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I mean, who else is actually in that division besides maybe Seton Hall?
Georgetown.
Yeah.
Johns.
Creighton.
Nah, Villanova. Come on.
It's Nova.
Yeah, this one's an easy one, Kurt. I'm Villanova.
Okay. I'm going Villanova with you. ACC.
Are we doing just champs, or you want to do the sleepers and busts along with it? 'Cause I did sleepers and busts as well.
You did sleepers and busts?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do it.
We got
Let's do it.
time.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's start Big East. Okay.
We'll answer them both in the same thing: a sleeper and a bust.
All right.
Before the next person goes.
So go ahead, Petro. Give me a sleeper and a bust. Big East.
I say UConn. UConn's returning to the Big East this year, so I got to put UConn.
Okay.
Bust. Tough. Because you got what? You got Xavier. They're always pretty good. I'm gonna put Georgetown. They always seem to just not. They're not the same team that they used to be anymore. Georgetown.
Beelan?
I'm gonna take Nova. My bust, I'm gonna say, man.
Who's your sleeper?
Oh, I didn't say sleeper.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with Nova. Nova is my. Are we doing 3 of them or 2 of them?
Well, yeah, your champ is Nova, then a sleeper and a bust.
So my Nova is my champ. My sleeper is gonna be. I'm gonna go with Butler this year, and I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna say Seton Hall is gonna be the slums this year.
Bing, 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 Beelan. I'm with you. And I'm going to say why, because I think people are going to look at Seton Hall and say they're a top 15 team. No, they're not. I mean, no more. I think they're going to come crashing down to earth. My surprise this year is I'm going to go Providence.
Right off, by the way. I should mute him.
Why? What happened?
You went ahead of me.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
Okay, I'll be quick. My surprise, just because I like the coach.
The mic was bad yesterday.
I know. My surprise is Ed Cooley and Providence. They'll be my surprise.
I agree with my sleeper is going to be Xavier. They always seem to, come out of nowhere and in tournaments as well. Like they make it pretty far sometimes. So I'll give them another shot as my sleeper. And I'm with both of you guys as my bust. Replacing Miles Powell is going to be too much for Seton Hall. They're my bust. And like Kurt said, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
They're my bust this year in the Big East.
All right, let's get to the ACC. Petro, champ, sleeper, bust.
I'm not picking against my boys. I'm going Duke.
Okay.
They got 3 good freshmen. They got a lottery pick in Jalen Johnson. I'm going Duke.
Okay, sleeper?
Sleeper's North Carolina, as crazy as that sounds, because I feel like they're counting North Carolina out, but North Carolina is too good of a basketball team to not, you know what I mean, to not be respected. I'm gonna say North Carolina.
All right, and bust.
Bust in the ACC. I'm not gonna say Virginia because that would just be ridiculous. I think they're gonna be a very good team. Come back to me on that. Go to somebody else. Let me think for a minute.
Kenny.
Hoops is going to enjoy this. I got Virginia as my champs. I'm going to go sleeper Louisville. I love the coach, the old Cincinnati coach. I can't think of a name off the top of my head, but he's a very underrated coach. I think they could be a nice little sleeper in the ACC. My bust, just like Seton Hall, it's going to be too much to replace Vassell and Williams. FSU is going to be my bust in the ACC.
Okay. Beelan?
Dookie boys are definitely my solid pick for the year. My sleeper is going to be Florida State. And then, sorry, Hoops, but my bust is going to be Virginia.
Wow. Oof. I'll tell you this. When have I ever done this, Kenny? Am I getting recorded on this? Because
He's coming with me again?
No, I'm actually picking UVA to win the ACC.
That's not a bad pick.
But you don't understand, Petro. I never pick Virginia. I'm always against Virginia, right, Kenny?
Hoops is probably not going to allow you to go upstairs tonight because you jinxed them.
I always am. I think surprise team. I was gonna take Georgia Tech, but I just looked and they're losing to like Georgia Southern, so that is out if they can't beat Georgia Southern. I'm not gonna embarrass myself on air. I'm gonna go I'm going to go Syracuse as my surprise. All right, again, not ranked. They'll be there come March with a shot to get to the tournament. And I agree with you guys with Florida State. I think it's a lot to overtake Kenny to get
Yeah,
back to
Florida
where they were.
State. Florida State was going to be my sleeper pick, but I forgot. Syracuse is going to have a tough go of it too. They lost. I think they have like 6 or 7 freshmen on the team. It's going to be in the ACC, and I mean, listen,
Yeah.
it's different. It's different when you have like the freshmen like Duke get, but these freshmen are like 2-star, and you know what I mean. Like this isn't the kind of freshman that can carry a team, and it's just when it comes around to ACC play, and Syracuse has to go and play Carolina and Duke, and oof, I don't know, man. I mean, they got the coach though. So,
Right.
like, you know, the coach, this is the one – college basketball is the one sport
The coach
that
wins.
I will say the coach wins.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
Yeah.
it really is, because it's very rare, because even when March Madness comes around and you get those upsets and stuff like that, once it gets to the Sweet 16, you see the coaches that are there, and it all usually
It's always
comes
the big
full
names.
circle.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's always the blue bloods that are there. They always end up somehow winning out those tight games because they're just the system that they run, and it's just, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm taking Coach K, because as good as a coach, what's his name is at Virginia, I just can't bet against Coach K, man. He's a wizard. He's a wizard.
All right, let's get the SEC, Kenny. Petro, you're back up. SEC.
SEC, I'm gonna go with Kentucky. I mean, I don't think it's anybody else that just has the talent around them. Kentucky has a very, very good player in Brandon Boston. That kid is going to be an absolute star in the NBA. I wanted him to go to Duke so bad. Duke was real close in getting him, but and he ended up going to Kentucky instead. He's going to be a very, very special player. My sleeper is going to be LSU. Shaquille O'Neal's son's on the team. He's back. Shaquille O'Neal's son. He's had like a crazy road. He committed to Arizona. He was one of the top recruits out of high school. He ended up having like heart failure, and he had to get open heart surgery. He basically had to learn how to walk again. And the kid looks phenomenal. They're going to be my sleeper team. And my bust is probably going to be I'll say Georgia, because Georgia had a pretty good year, and after losing Anthony Edwards, they're just going to go back to irrelevance
reality
again. Yep, they're just going to go back to irrelevance again in the SEC. They're a football school.
Kenny.
Kentucky, obvious pick there. Petro said words right out of my mouth, with LSU is my sleeper. Same exact thing, O'Neal's son, and, you know, his road to get there. Bust, I'm going to go, I don't know if it's, you know, there's a lot of teams in the middle of the pack. I'll say Tennessee is my bust.
Beeler.
Oh, Tennessee was a good pick for you.
Yeah, Kentucky, riding with you guys on Kentucky. My sleeper is actually going to be Auburn this year. And my boss is going to be Florida.
I love Bruce Pearl.
Me and Beelan, we ain't gambling together. I can tell you that, because I'm going different than you guys. I'm taking Florida in the SEC. They were very highly ranked last year. They were like a top 10 team, and they got everything coming back. I'm going to go them. I'll go my sleeper. I'm going to go Arkansas. They were a very sneaky team last year. They played that up-tempo press defense. And then my bust, I'm going to go with you, Kenny, and go Tennessee. Like number 12 in the country, I think that's high for them, you know? So yeah. I'll take them there. All right, let's get to the Big Ten.
Big Ten, they got the potential. They got the favorite player of the year, kid Garza
from Iowa.
Animal. But
they got right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in the top 25 in that conference.
Yeah, I mean, listen though, like I said before, it comes down to coaching, and I will never go against Tom Izzo. So I'm going Michigan State to win the Big Ten. My sleeper team will be Iowa, even though, because I have to pick one, I'd probably say Iowa. If I'm not saying Iowa, though, I do like Michigan. Michigan's always that – they've been a very good basketball team the last couple of years. They always seem to find a way to get made deep tournament runs, and they're a very good conference team. So I'll actually take Michigan as my sleeper, and my bust will be Ohio State.
Okay. Beelan.
My pick is going to be Maryland to win the Big Ten. I think Ohio State's going to be a bust for me. And I think a surprise team, I'm going to go super wild card in this, but I'm going to say Wisconsin.
Illini are really good this year too.
Yeah. That
They're really good.
Backcourt's crazy.
They just put up 112 points tonight.
Yeah,
Kenny, go ahead.
Petro and I are sharing the same brain. Izzo all the way.
All the way.
Carson, Michigan State alumni is going to love our pick there. Iowa's my sleeper. My other sleeper would be with John, Wisconsin. And unlike John, I think my bust is going to be Maryland. I think that they're going to have a down year over here, I believe, in a tough conference, Big Ten.
All right, I'm gonna switch this up, but I want to echo Petro's words where you're saying coaching. Izzo is the man. Izzo is the man. But I'm gonna say this, and if we're picking right now, just regular season champs, right, Kenny?
Yeah.
All right.
Regular season.
I will pick Iowa, but I'll tell you right now, the tournament, hands down, I'm picking Michigan State. All right, hands down. But I think Iowa will win the regular season. My sleeper is, I don't know. He's a sleeper. Can I say Wisconsin? They're number 7 in the country. When I say sleeper, though, I think they have a shot to go to the Final Four, and we'll get to our picks in a second. So I'm going to pick that. And bust, I agree with Ohio State. I know they scored today, but I'm a little down on them too. So I'll go Ohio State. All right, let's get to the Big 12.
Oh, I hate this division.
Yeah, me too.
I love the Big 12. The Big 12 is good.
Not good for FanDuel.
No, it's not. But I'll tell you what.
Here's how this conference works, Petro. Right? Baylor's at home. They beat Kansas by 30 at home. All right. Baylor goes on the road to Oklahoma State and they lose by 10.
Yeah.
These teams cannot win on the road. I don't know about this year, but what do you got, Petro?
That's what I'm saying. This year is going to be a little different.
It's going to be different.
There's going to be no fans. I think it's Baylor's conference to lose. They got that kid Jared Butler back. He was going to go into the draft. He came back. I don't see Baylor dropping the ball here. He was the top leading scorer in the Big 12 last year. So I don't see how you get a kid like that back and he don't just get better. My sleeper team is going to be Texas Tech. They got that kid Mac McClung from Georgetown. That kid is electric. You got to see that kid if you haven't.
I tell you, he's one of the best dunkers in the country. He's crazy. I was just gonna
say, if you haven't seen Mac McClung, go on YouTube and watch this kid throw down dunks. He's insane. The kid has some crazy hops out of, I think, Virginia. I think he's from. Oh man, he is crazy good. My bust. It's probably going to be Oklahoma State. They have the number one. They got probably the number one pick in the draft next year is that freshman Cade Cunningham. He's going to be great, but I think that normally they're always going to put a little more juice on Oklahoma State to finish higher than they should. But college basketball is that one thing that you can't just win with one guy. So listen, if Duke couldn't do it with Zion, I don't think Cade Cunningham's going to do it with Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State's going to be my boss.
By the way, breaking news from the women's college basketball. The number one team in the country, South Carolina, Kenny, played the Charleston Cougars. Real quick, if nobody's seen it, how many did they win by? Just throw out a number, Kenny.
60?
The girls are savages.
Petro?
I'm going to say they won. I'm going to say
I've seen it. I'm not answering.
I'm going to say they won by 74 points.
81.
Oh, my God.
What was the score?
119 to 38.
They scored 38.
They scored 38, 18 in the second half. At half, it was 62 to 20. After 3, it was what? 94 to 28 after 3.
It's got to be like the first year in how many years UConn hasn't been ranked number 1.
They lost by 81.
Was UConn ranked? No, I don't think UConn was ranked number 1 last year, though, either.
I don't think so either.
I think it was South Carolina. I think it's been South Carolina for the last 2 years. I think because I know UConn has like a really young team, and they still made a deep run last year. It's going to be UConn again soon enough. I think they're coming. They're coming.
Does the WNBA work like the NBA? You can go into the WNBA as a freshman, like after your freshman year.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm not totally positive how it works. I don't know why they would leave to go and make $40 a game. So
Yeah, true.
I don't even know if you can leave early, to be honest with you.
I'm not trying
not
to be an
making
asshole, but
Right.
but
Right.
why would you leave UConn when you're getting watched by 10,000 fans to go to a WNBA game?
Nobody's there.
When there's 8 fans.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so Beelan, what do you got? Big 12.
Kansas champ. Sleeper is gonna be Texas, and I'm gonna take. I know it's crazy, but I just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna take Baylor as the shit in the bed this year.
Okay, Kenny.
I think a big injury is gonna go down. They're gonna get fucked.
Very similar to Beelan on this one. Kansas is my champs. This is just season champs.
Right.
We're not doing tournament champs. This tournament's going to be a different story. Sleeper is going to be West Virginia. Bust with Beelan is Baylor. But tournament comes, they make the run. They win the tournament and they go into make a deep run in the.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, like you said though, with West Virginia, you can't. Huggins, the guy is a great coach, man.
Huggy
you got
Bear.
to take him. I think Bill Self is that one coach though. I think he is the most overrated blue blood coach.
Yes, that's why Petro. I'm with you. I'm going Baylor. I can't take Bill Self. I mean, he screws up everything every year.
He's a choke artist. He is a choke artist.
This is regular season, Kurt. This isn't tournament.
No, but listen, Baylor's good, man.
He finishes 20-1 in the division. They finished 28-4, and then they lose in the first round in the tournament.
Right. Baylor's good, though.
They have had so
Baylor
many.
is good. Baylor is good, but I'm going to take him as a bust just for shits and giggles like John.
I'm going to go Baylor with Petro to win the conference. My sleeper, I'm going to go Texas Tech because I think they're really good this year. And bust, I'm going to go Texas. I think that's Shaka Smart, right?
Yes.
Shaka Smart's going to be on the clock this year because he wasn't brought over there from VCU to, not getting in the tournament and early exit. So I'm going to go with him as the disappointment.
Shaka Smart runs the best full court press you'll ever see, though. If you ever want to see a full court press run the right way, Google Shaka Smart's full court press. That's what I run with my kids, and my kids become absolute savages because of it. Because it's just
gotta check it out.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's you would think it's off the charts. The guy's such a good coach, but
a little disappointing though in Texas, his career so far over there.
Yeah, I just don't, I think the Big 12, I don't think anybody saw Baylor coming and rising like they have.
Yeah.
I think it was
That's why they're going.
Maybe. I think it's good. I could see it next year after they lose this kid to the draft, but I don't know this year. Everywhere I look, they see it.
They're good.
Everybody has Baylor going.
They're good.
Real far. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, let's go Pac-12, Petro.
Oh, Pac-12 basketball. It's like, come back to me.
Does anybody even watch Pac-12 basketball?
I'll start it off. I'm going to go Oregon. I think I like their coach. They got 2 transfers. They picked up the kid, LJ Figueroa from St. John's, who was a good player. Hopefully, if he's eligible, but they're saying he should. My sleeper team, I'm going to go. They're ranked 18th, but I guess I'll take them. I'll take Bobby Hurley. They got the kid, I can't think of his name. He's a point guard. He bypassed the NBA. He's a pretty good player. The point guard from Arizona
Who are you talking
State.
about?
Arizona State.
Something
with an
Remy
R. Remy Moore. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Good player. Real good player.
Yeah, good player.
And
good
bust,
player.
I'm going to go Arizona. I think that they're in turmoil. They're always in trouble over there doing something illegal. So I'm going to take them the downfall this year for them. By the way, did you guys see Auburn put themselves on a self probation this year?
Mm-hmm.
So
internally.
Internally, yeah.
Crazy.
Go ahead. Who wants to jump in?
I actually before you say that, I heard why they did it though is because so then the conference people can't do anything more than what they could, from what I heard.
So what's
I
their
don't
ban? No NCAA tournament?
know. I think it was no tournament. I think they lost a couple of scholarships they took away, which I don't get anyways. But who's I don't know. Whatever.
Go ahead, Kenny. You want to jump in?
Yeah, UCLA is going to be my champs. Last year, if you remember the tournament,
Yeah, they were hot.
They had to get in. If they got in, I was riding them. Arizona State with Hurley. I agree with you, Kurt. My sleeper. I'm going to go Oregon as a bust in the regular season.
Okay. Petro?
I'm gonna take Arizona State to win it. I forgot Remy Martin ended up going back there. Kid's very good player. He probably would have been the top 15 pick in the draft if he went this year, just the way that the draft ended up happening. My sleeper team, I'll probably go ahead and take. I'll probably take UCLA, and then my bust, I'll take Arizona too. They're a very young team. They had a really good recruiting class this coming year, but they're young, and
Okay.
it's not like it's a Duke recruiting class. You know what I mean? But it's solid, so they'll be good in the future, but not yet.
All right, and here we go. Final Four and national
Yeah.
champion. Oh,
Hey,
Beelan.
You forgot Beelan.
I'm sorry, Beelan. I'm sorry.
Man, Kurt.
I'm sorry, my friend.
I'm going super wild card in this one. Colorado to win it. Arizona State to my sleeper, and I'm gonna go with you guys with Arizona as a
I'm telling you, Beelan, you know what? Colorado, man, they're another team. Like they
the
get
whole school, bro. The whole school's coming back. It's gonna
I
be like
know.
the early,
Well, you forgot
early
one thing before our
2000s
Final
game.
Four, Kurt.
No, I know. What's that?
Mid-major sleeper.
Ooh.
You wrote that down. My mid-major sleeper. I got a couple, but I'll let you guys go first if you guys want to.
I mean, would you consider Gonzaga a mid-major because
Yeah,
Gonzaga's going to win?
No,
Gonzaga's going to win the
they're
national title. I'll
I
tell
would
you guys
probably
right now.
consider him a
Put your money on
sleeper.
Gonzaga.
Take it. Do it now, Petro. They were talking about it another night. I think they're 9-1. Do it
Put your money
now.
on Gonzaga now.
Do
The
it
best
now.
thing. So what I normally do is though with college basketball, I mean Gonzaga's that one team, but no teams ever go undefeated.
Mhm.
So what you do is you wait until they get a loss or two.
Yeah, and then their odds go up a little.
Down. Their odds go up, and that's when you take them. Because that's what I always do with Duke. I'll never take Duke in the beginning of the year because Duke and the ACC, they all beat up on each other.
Yep.
You know
You're
what
going
I
to
mean?
get better
So-
odds.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. But Gonzaga is that one team that it is possible they could just run the table because they play in that crap conference. St. Mary's is the only team that they really struggle. They have a problem with sometimes. So I just don't see them losing at all. That team is it's that coach's year. He's due. He's had so many good teams. They're winning it.
That's a team that needs to, for basketball purposes, needs to get into the Pac-12. Like, how good would the Pac-12 be if they had Gonzaga?
Right. So Gonzaga, we can't take Gonzaga in this one, right?
Unless you,
They're not mid-major.
as
They're
a
not-
sleeper, I wouldn't say sleeper.
Yeah, they're not a mid-major though, right? They're really not a mid-major.
I'll go with one.
Go ahead.
I rode with them last year a lot of times because you can't really bet them here because of where they are. But Liberty.
Okay.
You know mine, Kurt.
I know yours. Yours is the purple team, the purple and yellow, right?
Garfield colors, Northern Iowa.
That's a good one.
I like that kid. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they got some shooters over there, man. I've watched them last year. I was gonna ride
Oh, the kid.
What
I got one.
conference are they in?
the tournament.
I'm not sure what they're in.
So sleeper would be pretty much at least
They're
get
in Missouri. They're
tournament
in Missouri
and winning
Valley.
a game possibly in the tournament.
Can I take
go-
St. Oh, go ahead, Petro.
I'm going with Loyola Chicago. They're a good team. They had that run last year.
Yep.
I'm going not last year, 2 years ago. I'm going Loyola Chicago as my mid-major to watch out for.
Kenny, can I take St. Louis?
Yes.
Is that
I'll
a
give 'em
mid-major?
St. Louis. I'll give you St. Louis.
All right, I'm going to take St. Louis.
And now the important question, right, Kurt?
Here we go. Final Four and national champ, Petro. You start us off.
Okay, my Final Four. See, so Final Four is tough. It's hard to do that just because
You don't know
so
who's
many
where.
teams, it's right. You don't know because a lot of times there's those questionable twos that could be one.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna say I think the best. I'm gonna give my best 4 teams in college basketball. I think my best 4 teams in college basketball are going to be Gonzaga. I think it's going to be. Oh man. I'm Homer. I'm going to say Duke. I'm going to say Villanova. And Virginia. So Virginia, Duke, Nova, Gonzaga.
Okay. Beelan.
Michigan State right outside that.
Oh my God, Petro, me and you were like so close. Go ahead, Beelan.
I'll go with Gonzaga, Nova. Man, it's tough with this one, but it's the same thing. I don't want to go against Duke because I just love Duke too.
You can't go against them.
You can't go against Duke. And then I'm gonna throw like a super wild card in here just for giggles. But I'm gonna go with my Wisconsin boys.
Wow.
Good pick. A lot of people are taking Wisconsin.
This is nuts.
Really
I might pick. You know what, Kenny? I gotta cut you off. I gotta because this is. Oh, who's your champ, Petro?
Gonzaga. I think they run the table.
Beelan.
This is for Petro. I'm going with Duke.
Okay.
Hey, I'll take it.
Now here's the thing that's crazy. You two guys made picks. I swear on my paper. Final Four. Villanova. Beelan. I'm going Wisconsin. Petro, Gonzaga. And I don't believe I'm doing this. Kenny, you ready?
All right.
I'm taking Jenny Hoops as UVA. Is that shocking?
You really
Someone's
jinxed
trying to
it.
get buns.
Is that? I hate
You must have been
Tony
in the
Bennett.
doghouse for something today,
No,
guys.
I'm not. And this
doghouse.
is nuts. I just think, you know what? He's speeding it up a little. I'm not a Tony Bennett fan, but I'm going to take him to get to the Final Four. But I agree with Petro. It's just their year. They're the best team. They're due. The schedule is going to help them. They're going to easily be a 1 seed. Gonzaga is my national champ, Kenny.
A little wild card. I got Michigan State. That's in Virginia, like a couple of you guys. My 2 wild cards are going to be Iowa with that kid, the top player, Garza, and UCLA. I'm high on this team this year. Out in the Pac-12 rather.
They have a lot back, right? Because they were down last year, then they got
have
hot,
They do have
and
a
then
lot
they
back.
got a lot coming back.
Get a couple of recruits locally in California. I'm following this team. I like them.
All right.
So we got one more thing. I think we got NFL picks, right?
Oh, yeah, NFL picks. Yep, and then we're done. NFL picks.
NFL picks, and then a little bonus before we leave, guys.
I'll
Do we have
start.
our standings?
Listen, Mr.
A
Kirkpatrick.
little Thanksgiving bonus after the picks.
See, here's the difference. When you ask Jenny Hoops on Tuesdays for the high school show, does she always give you the answers, Beelan?
No, I asked you, and you're like a day late.
Well, no, I'm not a day late. We always have it on the board. I put Kenny in charge. Can't pass that test, Beelan.
That's terrible.
He looks at me with all the notes, but he has to write three and three down all week, and he can't do it. You know?
This coming from the guy who just finally cleaned up his notebooks on the table after how many months?
About 6. All right, here we go. NFL. What do you want?
By the way, I hate almost every game this week.
Yeah, I don't like a lot either.
There's a few that I feel like the lines are low, but I feel like they're like trap games. Like it's like we'll see.
All right, my first one, I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to get suckered in by Cleveland. Jacksonville's good game last week. I'm going to take Cleveland minus 6.5 at Jacksonville. My second one, tough. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers against Lamar Jackson at Pittsburgh, 115.
That's on Sunday now.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, I'd take a backup game because there's rumors that the game might not even.
All right, I won't take that one. I'm going to take Kenny's Giants minus 5.5 against the Bengals, barrel-less Bengals. I'm going to take That's my upset special. I'm going to take the Rams against the 49ers minus 6.5. And my upset special is I'm going to take the Falcons to beat the Raiders.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'll go. I'm with you with the Giants. Again, every week I say it, they've covered every game except one this year. You never see that in the NFL. I see that trend continuing without Burrow. Giants had 2 weeks to prepare for this team. My second one is going to surprise people. I'm going with the Buccaneers. I think it's 3.5. Brady against, the struggles. He's going to bounce back. You never really see Brady have 2 bad games in a row. It's going to be a great game to watch. I'll take the 3.5 there. Going to go with a Thanksgiving Day game just because it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to think the Lions are going to bounce back at home against the Texans. They're getting 2.5, I believe. I'll take them. And call me crazy. There might be something in my eggnog. I'm going with the Jets in the upset. The quarterback controversy continues with the Dolphins. I'm taking the Jets.
Why do you want to aggravate Beelan?
No.
Because it's the Jets. You know they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence.
I'll say this. If they don't get Trevor Lawrence, seriously, like, how mad would you be, Beelan? Really, how mad would you be?
All joking aside, before Petro and Beelan go, the Jets have been in almost every game for like the past 3-4 games.
Somewhat. I mean,
they had the Patriots beat. They played decent against the Chargers last week. They got off to a fast start. They're home against the Dolphins. All things are pointing to the Dolphins winning this game, but the Dolphins reality may have hit the Dolphins.
Supposed to be raining too. So I'll go. I'm going to take Cleveland over the Jags. I think Cleveland's going to come out gunslinging this week. I'm going to take, sorry, Petro, but I'm going to take Dallas over Washington. I just need it because I need Dallas to win the East for my big parlay for the whole year. So I need them to win.
I don't want us to win anyway, but I think we're gonna
have the division.
And then I'm taking Arizona over New England. And then my straight outright is going to be the Chargers over the Bills.
It's a nice one.
Okay.
I can see that.
Herbert's can throw for like 500 yards.
Okay, I'm going to take – mine are going to be quick because I got them all. I got Raiders -3. I got Cleveland -6.5. I'm going to take Cardinals -2.5 over the Patriots. And my upset is going to be Washington over Dallas.
Okay.
Even though I don't want them to win.
All right.
All right, so we're got one more. We're done with the picks, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, guys. For Thanksgiving, my last thing for the week before we say Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I want everybody's prediction on what Kurt's Thanksgiving Day dinner plate will look like.
I'll go. Turkey, mashed potatoes, bread, and butter.
I'm very close with Petro. 2 pieces of white meat turkey, no gravy. Mashed potatoes, plain. Dinner roll, no butter. And for dessert, cookies.
That's pretty damn good, Kenny.
Kurt, do you like butter?
Beelan's got to go.
Do I like butter?
Oh, and Rocky Mountain oysters. You almost had them.
Kurt, you like butter or no?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to say same thing. I'm going to say white meat turkey, no gravy, no nothing. I'm going to go with the mashed potatoes, but he's going to put some melted butter in it because he's got to get a little bit of mushiness in there, right? Unless I don't know who makes the mashed potatoes over there, but
no melted butter, no way.
Oh my God, it's like the best part.
No.
And then I was gonna say maybe a little bit of not cranberries.
Stuffing?
No, what the hell's the red stuff? The
cranberry sauce?
No, it comes in a can sometimes.
Cranberry.
Is it cranberries?
Yeah.
Cranberry
No,
sauce.
cranberries. Maybe a
I'll
little
make
bit
this easy. Don't even argue. There's no shot of that. Don't even argue over it.
So do we all hit the turkey? White meat
Turkey, no sauce, plain,
No gravy.
only white meat. Only white meat.
All the
Dry.
sauce. He
No
called it-
sauce, no gravy, no sauce, none of that garbage. Somehow a salad, bread,
Salad on Thanksgiving.
possibly a mashed potato, but plain, no gravy, nothing on
No
it.
gravy,
no butter,
Kurt,
no
where,
gravy.
Remember
Kurt,
that.
where are you going? Where you going for
We
Thanksgiving?
honestly, we usually host like both of our
Kurt, no
families, but
stuffing?
we're not. No stuffing, no shot. So we'll be by Jen's parents and then my parents. So,
Roll
but
with
usually
butter
Jen
or no
cooks,
butter?
but we're not. She's not doing it this year.
I know you get a roll. I know there's a
Oh,
roll.
yeah, I'll do a roll. I'll do bread roll. Yeah, of course.
Butter or no butter?
No, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
We gotta get hoops to get you like a snap picture of your plates.
All right, that's fair.
And dessert, no apple pie, no pumpkin pie, cookies, right?
Cookie.
I'm not a
any ki-
pumpkin.
any-
I'm not a pumpkin pie guy.
Nah,
either,
no
but
pumpkin pie.
No
No.
I think it's gross. I think it's gross to be completely.
I like
honest with you.
apple.
Crumb cake. I'm
Apple
going to get
pie,
it in the
good.
morning.
Where you going?
I'm gonna go.
Stop
Honestly,
it.
you want the best. You want the best crumb cake you'll ever have. Dead
Yeah,
serious.
B&B in Hackensack.
Yeah, that is really good. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm
Yes.
telling you, a close play. Go to ShopRite Wallington. They put them in the 4-packs. I'm not joking. If this
It's a
is the
different
piece,
kind. I'll
it's
give them that.
full crumb cake. It's full crumb.
So not the ShopRite in Nutley does a crumb cake with cannoli cream in the middle. Oh my god, it's like the bomb.
Ooh,
It's
I
the
didn't know
bomb.
that. But I'm telling you, the Wallington one. You know what I'm talking about? By
You know that shop right in Nutley? I used to work at that pizzeria across the
Yeah.
street. Petro Rockies.
Rockies. Yeah, I actually went there a couple
Hey.
weeks ago.
No joke, Kurt. This is actually by you, I think, too. It's called for crumb cake, Stuyertown.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It is
Oh,
good.
I've had it. It is good.
It's good.
Kurt's got to start a YouTube channel. You know how Barstool's got the pizza review. Kurt's got to do
Crumb
crumb
cake
cake
review.
reviews.
By the way,
like it.
I called Beal. I got last thing before I go. So we had to drop off the trophy to the Becton coach. So all of a sudden I'm driving. We're driving in Carlstadt, and Kenny, what do we see? A stop sign flashing. So I say to Jen, we got to be by Beelan because Beelan's always posting pictures of this stop sign that doesn't work or does something with lights up. So I called him and I said, can you get me a pizza place near here where I can get a slice and a salad? He says to me, go to this place, Master Pizza, right down the road. Beelan, good call.
Yeah,
Good.
they actually crazy
good.
thing here, right? They actually turned down Stool Presidente from coming there.
That's bad because
Nah.
he changes businesses.
Yeah.
Bro,
So I've been
this
to
place
places that he's been
bro.
to. I've been to places that he's been to. And when I tell you, literally the next day,
Oh, there's lines.
Oh, I
the
know.
line it's insane. Hey, what was the place? What was the place in Caldwell? The pizza place?
Oh, it was
Angeloni's. Angeloni's.
Mm,
They said Angeloni's known for it's called like their thinny thin. That's literally
Yeah.
what it's called. It's like paper thin. It's very good pizza. So we went there not too long after he did his review, and we spoke to the owner. They said the next day they didn't open until 1:00. There was people lined up outside waiting at 10 a.m. for them to open to get a pie from there. And it ended up being a 2-hour wait all day to get a pizza from there.
you know
The
who's
highest ranking in New
Hey.
Jersey that I saw, Petro, near you, was Ralph's. He ranked Ralph's.
Ralph's is good. Ralph's is good. I like Pizza Land in North Arlington. I think Pizza Land in North Arlington is good around here. Pizza Town is a great slice of pizza. On
You know,
That's
Wednesdays.
always like a debate. That's a
I like
debate.
Pizza
in a
Town.
debate.
By the slice.
I don't like
though,
it. I don't like it,
Not
Beal.
Not the pie. You got to get it by the slice, dude. The way that dude throws Zeppelis in the air fryer fresh.
Oh,
Bro,
the
in the
Zeppelis
fryer
are
fresh.
fantastic.
Hey, you go to Garfield, you want a round pie. You go to Santoni's, you want a Sicilian. You go to Rose's. Plain and simple. Pizza Town is nowhere near any of those guys.
Beelan, you know what?
like-
Beelan, I'm giving you a job for next week.
Ugh.
We're giving Beelan a job. Can you get him to Roses?
Who?
What's his name?
I can get to Roses because I work not far. Oh, I mean, to get
I'll bring
him
it
to
to
Roses.
him.
Yeah, you can literally get, if you just got to keep posting on.
We got to
his
post
Instagram.
and get him to do the review.
The
at
thing is, though,
Roses.
he's down in Philly though for now because of Penn Gaming. He's only down there now. That's why you're only seeing him doing Pennsylvania places right now.
We got to get him
He's
up
not-
there. We
he's
got to
not
get
up
him the
here.
Roses, Beelan.
But he's got to have the Sicilian. The problem
The
is
Sicilian he's got to have.
But- yeah,
He'll
Frankie
do that.
likes the Sicilian, so Frankie
He'll do that. He'll do that as a bonus one, but he only rates regular slices.
Yeah, we got to get the bonus and do it because that Sicilian's legit.
Yeah, but no, Ralph's is good, and Nutley, it's good.
I never had it because I worked at Rockies, so I always had Rockies for free.
Ralph's?
But
No, he gave Ralph's an 8.
We gotta get the pizza taste test when I come up. We gotta go to V&J in Pompton Plains.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Santillo's. I know Santillo's is really good.
Petro, is that my friend Jen?
Yeah.
Instinct Petro.
I love pizza.
You
John's
gotta-
a Bleecker.
No, I
John's a
got
Bleecker
nothing
is the
down
best
here.
slice of pizza I've ever had. When COVID's all over, if none of you have been to John's a Bleecker in New York,
got to
it's
do
the
it.
highest score It's the highest score Prez has ever given. It's like a
Wow.
9.7. It's the best pizza you will ever have.
All right,
I wanna
boys.
say- I want to say he gave Ralph's a 9.2.
Coach Breslin saying Nelly's in Waldwick. We got to check that one out.
Nellie's in Waldwick. Yes, I know Waldwick very well. I used to work there. Nellie's is awesome.
All right,
Nellie's
boys.
is great. They got
Have
this crazy
fantastic-
oven. Nellie's is really good. You got to check that out. I agree.
Have a fantastic Thanksgiving,
Yes, everybody
As
have
good
a
as
happy
as good as it can
Thanksgiving.
be.
Enjoy. Right, exactly. As good as it is. Eat up.
And we're doing a little show on Friday if anybody wants to join. I think, what time are we doing it, Kurt?
What?
The show on Friday. What time did you want? Kurt's blank now. Look at him.
No, I just got a text. That's why.
From Hoops.
All right.
What time's the show Friday? We're changing. We're not on tomorrow, obviously, with it being Thanksgiving.
I don't know. We got to figure it out. We'll figure
Noon?
something out.
You got to let the audience know right now. Noon, putting you on the spot.
Okay. You got it.
Noon Friday.
Sounds
You
good.
don't even know what he just agreed to.
I didn't. Noon on Friday. All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right, guys.
All right.